page. So once that's up and I can see it, we'll be live and I'll be sharing it out to all the groups.
Awesome, man. And then I can share my slides, my screen, if I just hit share screen.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
should be fine. Let me go
Yeah.
ahead and make sure we're live
You
here.
can cut in and interrupt me anytime you like too, by the way, in the presentation. I'm cool. Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Mm.
I did while I'm sharing this out, I did end up going to an expo today. I was telling you.
Awesome.
Um,
Yeah. How'd they go? Good?
yeah, it was okay. So like the one I went to, which was like their other expo that they do. Um,
Hmm.
the one I went to before was better. This expo had more type of beat like the booths, the actual people in the booths were more B2B type of people, right? So I'm kind of more looking people going for consumer.
Yep.
So it was a little different, but I did meet some people there that might be good contacts for some other interesting things that I'm looking to do. Um,
Mm.
so it's not all lost. The real downside to that is going to is the traffic. It took me an hour just to get out of the
Oh,
seat.
wow.
So um, I am sharing this out, guys. Whoever's watching now, Oz is on here. Oz, you're familiar with Oz. He's on. I am sharing this out to all the groups if you're watching right now. Hey, Michael, share to group. Okay, this one. Feel free to chat, John, while I'm typing and getting this stuff shared out. I'm only on groups 3 out of 10. So
Okay. I want to say welcome and hi to those who are jumping on. So I really appreciate you guys being part of this training. We're going to have a lot of fun today because I'm going to try and make this as interactive as possible so that you get the most out of this training that we're going to be doing. And I guess the big thing is if you can think about what you actually want to, what action are you going to take today from the stuff I'm going to share with you? Apply that action, and more importantly, we'd love to get your feedback in the Facebook groups of those that actually pull this through, because some of the stuff I'm sharing today, I just shared recently at an event in Bangkok, at a live event in Bangkok, and then within 24 hours, we had 5 people who generated sales by doing the stuff I'm going to be sharing with you today. We had one person did $40,000 worth of sales in 24 hours just applying one strategy that I'm going to share and talk about today. We've had other people generate several appointments. We had another person generate $15,000 in sales in 24 hours. We had one person who generated a $7,000 sale in an hour after I did the presentation. They literally left the room and went out there, applied a tactic, and got a $7,000 sale, cash in bank. So I'm going to be sharing a few of those ideas on this live training. I am going to be doing Ball Deep and the team at Biz Not BS have organised something that you can take advantage of. I'm going to be sharing that with you at the close to the end of the presentation. And the other thing is, I just want to make sure that you get as much as you can, because I'm going to be hanging around here answering your very specific questions about what you want to do about generating clients, about niche markets. I'm more than happy to give you exact tactical strategy when we do the Q&A. So if you ask me questions, if you've got key questions about consulting or growing your business or scaling your business or targeting a particular market, I'll actually give you an actual step-by-step process so that you can actually follow. And for the benefit of those who are watching and who are part of this live training, you'll be able to watch the recording and reapply or apply those strategies. So I'll even do scripting for you. I'm going to share some really cool stuff today on how you can get appointments literally super fast. I'm going to share with you an exact script that I use. So far, the record is 17 appointments in 2 minutes of using this script. I haven't. That wasn't my record, by the way. That was one of the people that I work with that went and applied this, and I'm going to give you the exact pitch on how to generate a bucket load of appointments of people who are ready to spend money with your services. So with that, I'm going to hand it over Ball Deep so you can introduce me if you like, Ball Deep.
Sure. So first of all, I want to thank everybody, all the group owners that allowed me to share this out. So just a little housekeeping for those of you watching. this live is being streamed into 10 different groups. So if you make comments on the group itself that you're seeing this on, and you want that question answered, there is a link in the post that I made. It's biznotbs/questions of biznotbs.com/questions. If you have any questions that you want answered today on this live, go ahead and click that. It's a Google form. I don't ask for any information. Just type in the questions, and all those questions will be answered whenever we get to the Q&A. So any questions you have throughout this whole process, feel free to do that. And yeah, so John, there's really not much I can really say, enough good things I can say about John. I've been working with John for a little bit under a year now, and he's helped me transform my business and many other people in the consulting agency space. So he has tons of experience, and he'll go into his background if you guys need him to. He has tons of experience in scaling and selling digital agencies and marketing agencies and consulting agencies, and all the information and trainings he's provided to myself and my friends and people in the group has been phenomenal, and super simple action steps you can take to literally put money in your bank account right away. And so, John, I'll let you kind of take it off. You want to add to that?
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I'm going to share. I put a presentation together. I'm going to share a screen with you guys so you can actually see it. So I'm just going to hit the share screen, and then it's going to. I think that this is the screen that I've got, then I'm just going to move that down out of the way. So, can you see my slides, Baldy?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So I'm going to, I know that you can interject, but I'm going to hit the presentation button. So today's training is stop mucking around, stop messing around, stop fucking around, and let's go and get some clients today. That's essentially what this training is all about. Just a really brief thing about me. I live in, well, I'm actually from Queensland in Australia. In fact, that's the beach behind me. I speak a lot at conferences. I travel the world. Last 4 years, I've pretty much been on the road every 2 weeks on an international flight, every 3 to 5 days in a new city. You'll notice that my home is on the bottom right hand of the page. That is my lounge room, dining room, bedroom, office. And I do have a shared bathroom that I have to share with other people, but I do essentially live in the first 8 rows of an aeroplane. What's happened up to date, just to give you perspective of what I do. I basically specialize in strategic marketing, sales process, and niche market development. I have my own agencies that I work with. I have a Facebook agency and also have a CRM agency that I run outside of the coaching that I do in Consulting Unleashed. I run a community called Consulting Champions. I have a program, which is a starter program called Consulting Rocket. It's an accelerator for people to start their programs. So I teach people like the people here, like you on this call, how to scale, accelerate, grow, engage markets, raise your prices, change your mindset, build an asset. That's essentially what I do. Last 3 years, worked with over 200 consultants, launched 143 new consulting agencies, helped my Consulting Champions generate about $32 million in consulting contracts, teaching exact stuff that I'm sharing with you today. You're getting a glimpse of some of the things that I talk about. Last 12 months, just with 2 strategies in one of my agencies, we brought in 140 clients. So we brought in 140 agency clients in 12 months with an average investment of $60,000, which is $9 million worth of revenue, recurring monthly revenue, selling a Facebook ad funnel to one niche. So that's essentially me in a nutshell. So today, all about you. Okay, so we're going to be covering ground. I want you to take as many notes as you can, and feel free to go to that Google Doc form and ask questions that I'll answer as we go through. One thing that you notice is I talk very fast. Unfortunately, that's my New York accent working for me. But we are recording this, so you can go back and listen to this as we go along. So with this, growing your agency, there are 3 really key areas in terms of growing your agency. You need more clients for your agency. You need more revenue, so you need to look at ways of packaging your services and increasing the prices that your agencies spend with you. And you need those customers to stay with you as long as possible. This basically creates a sustainable, growing, compounding agency business. So some of you, there's 3 different categories of agency business. First category, freelancer, 0 to 6 figures. So $0 to $100,000 in sales or revenue, or 10K a month, 120 grand. Anywhere between that and about 250, you're freelancing, you're selling, you're fulfilling, you might be using some outsourcers, you might be doing some work. The next level is scale to $500,000 in your revenue, which is roughly about $40,000 to $50,000 a month in sales. You're starting to outsource. You're starting to perhaps even bring in a manager in-house. You're starting to bring team members in. So you're scaling at that level. At 7 figures, you've probably got about 3 to 5 people working in your business. You're outsourcing. You're using outsourced partners. What you should be aiming for profit margin. So costs about 300,000, 30%. Gross margin or gross profit margin about $700,000. At the end of that, after your salary, after you take out money, at the end of that $1 million business, you should be keeping about $250,000 net over and above whatever you pay yourself for a salary. So that's a scalable business. In that thinking mode, when you hit that 7 figures, then you start thinking about scaling to 5 million. Then you're starting to hire people like operations managers, team leaders, and you start scaling out. In my agency business, we have 40 people in that $9 million agency. We grew from a team of 13 to 40 people in 12 months. And now we're about to hire another 10 people in the next 5, where growth has been pretty fast and astronomical. And to give you the idea of the headspace, we only operate in one niche and one market. We have one core main product that we sell to that market, and then we have one upsell as a premium upsell. The average sale sits around that $50,000 to $60,000 mark. And we bring on roughly 30 to 40 clients every 90 days. That's how fast we grow that business. However, we're about to double that. So in the next 90 days, we're going to bring on 80 clients in that business, using exactly some of the stuff that I'm sharing today and how we replicate this and grow quickly. Most people think that's astronomical growth. It is, but we have a way of handling that growth. So, and that's a key. That's not for everyone, but that's just to give you an idea of where you can go. I just want to talk about a couple of people as I share some ideas, just to give you perspective of where people just like yourself who just started out, didn't know what they were doing, worked this business part-time to actually build and scale. Jasper was a linesman in Chicago Power, worked full-time, about 60 hours a week. He built his AdWords agency from 0 to 150K per month in recurring revenue in 15 months. And he was only working roughly 2 hours a week. So he really needed to outsource and scale his business. This is just to show you what's possible. And he literally used a handful of the strategies that I share with you today to grow his business. In fact, I'll show you where he got his first 3 clients today. Opportunity, just for you guys to understand what's out there. The one thing that I often say to people is stop hanging around and listening to internet marketers. And the reason I say that is because internet marketers tend to have a mindset of a standard price point, and it's always low, right? Because there's people out there who are charging $1,000 for AdWords management, $1,000 for Facebook management. They're charging $500 for SEO a month. They're charging $1,000. So these are all low figures. What I try and help people understand is you should be charging $3-5 grand. That should be a poverty pack. The average for you to have a successful, profitable customer with you, they've got to be investing at least $30,000 plus a year in your services. If you've got a client investing $30,000 a year in your services, you're going to make significant profit out of that. And what most people do, anything under that, you'll find you'll end up not making any money. I spoke to an agency owner who's got a $700,000, doing $70,000 a month in recurring revenue, and they're not making any profit. And the reason why is because they're undercharging for their services. That's the reason why they're not profiting. So can you imagine earning 70 grand a month in your agency, and at the end of the year, your accountant turns around and says, dude, you're not making any money, right? You might as well go and get a job, right? So understand that a price point mindset level of the internet marketer, you want to get out of that, because in the real world, in the offline world, outside of that community. By the way, that's not to say you can't have friends in internet marketing. I've got a lot of great friends in the internet marketing space. I just don't listen to it when it comes to price, right? But in the outside world, in the offline world, companies are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars a month on AdWords, on Facebook. They're spending it on SEO. They're spending it on TV, radio, newspaper, magazine, online aggregator sites, banner sites. They're literally spending tens of thousands, and some of them are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars of their money to market to the world, which is online. That's where most of their customers are coming from these days. So understand that the opportunity outside of what you're experiencing is much greater. And let me tell you, businesses, every single industry right now is being disrupted. The robots are coming, and in fact, in some industries, the robots are already here. So every industry, from retail to e-commerce to engineering to manufacturing to construction to health services, every industry is being disrupted online. This opens up a massive opportunity for anybody that's got some basic skills on how to get results for their clients, whether it be in any form of marketing, automation, any form of consulting, because let me tell you, people are literally spending a ton of money hiring you right now. The consulting industry right now, over $1 trillion business. Just in marketing alone, just online marketing alone, so online marketing services in the United States, 2016 to 2017, 46 billion. Between 2017 2018, next year, they're talking about close to $50 billion is going to be spent on hiring people just like you. And so this is where the opportunity is. Every day is a do-over. The reason I want to explain this to you is most people, when I talk to, they either live in the past or they're dreaming about the future that hasn't appeared, right? And so what happens is they get down on themselves. I need to get more clients, or Jesus, the whole month's gone past and I need to put more revenue in my bank account, or all that sort of stuff. So they've got this focus of what they didn't do. One of the sad things about a lot of people, both in business and out of business, is we get down on ourselves for all the things that we didn't do, right? Let me tell you, every day is a do-over. You get to choose how that day is. And so you can't change what happened in the past. You certainly can't impact on the future because you have no idea what's coming tomorrow. But what you can do is what you do in this moment. And for me, every single day is a do-over, and it's the same for you. So you get to choose what you want to have happen in your business every single day. So I just want to share with you, this is a guy, Elton, who literally applied one strategy I'm going to share with you today and picked up his first AdWords client. Doesn't handle the client. He outsources it to an agency to handle all the client work, and he's out there going out and generating another client. So just by sharing some of the things that I'm going to share with you today, he got off his ass, got out of his way, made an offer, made a sale literally within 24 hours of doing what I'm going to share with you through this process. So the number one metric, or there's two things that you need to focus on in your business. Nothing else. If you are focusing on anything else in your business other than these two things, you are going to go broke, and you're going to go broke fast, right? So I often ask people, how many appointments did you make this week? Right? How many appointments have you got on your calendar? It's really weird when I ask people this question. Some people say the donut, 0, right? Well, it's going to be pretty freaking hard to make any money if you're not talking to anybody. That's the first thing. The next thing that's important is how many presentations did you do? So if you have an appointment to engage and have conversations with clients, you're moving towards either creating a presentation to make a pitch or a sale. So the next big metric is how many pitches or how many presentations did you do this week, last week, next week, how many you got set up for the following week. If the number is 1 or 0 or 2 or 3, it's not enough. It's not enough. Paul Deep here uses a simple strategy to generate between 7 and 12 appointments every single week. That's why he's growing his business successfully 20 to 30% month on month end by applying what he's learning. So understand that the metric in your business and the question you want to ask yourself is, who am I talking today? Who am I helping buy what I have to sell? That's all you need to focus on. So, most powerful computer in the world is this device. We all know it. But the problem is that 90% of the people who market to the world online are not optimizing for this device. 60 to 70% of all search is done on a mobile or a tablet device. We tend to search. If you ask yourself the question, I know last month I spent $8,000 buying stuff off my mobile phone, air tickets, accommodation, products, all sorts of things, books. I literally spent $8,000 buying shit off my iPhone, right? Your customers do exactly the same thing. So what are their customers doing? Where are they searching? Where are they looking? And if you don't have an optimized strategy that is in line with where your customers are interacting in getting their information, then you're screwed, right? This is where you can this is a game-changing, competition-changing strategy. that if you actually have a proper mobilized strategy as part of your core business, and you market that way and you make it easier for people to engage, to buy and do business with you, you're going to increase the chances of actually growing and accelerating online. The easier you make it for clients to do that, the more sales you make. Most people don't have a strategy. You here on this call have the strategies that can help people get better results in where people are communicating with on this crazy device that's probably becoming the most expensive computer that people have, and it lives with you 24/7. In fact, some people go to sleep with it with their stupid earbuds in their phone, in their head. So very powerful. Understand that. So what do I do for clients? You want to be very clear. The biggest mistake that most people make is not really clear about what they offer to people. They're very ambiguous. They offer too many services, too many things. They're doing. I do websites, I do Facebook traffic, and I do SEO. Right? Pick one core service. Be really good at that and scale and build. In our agency, in the Facebook agency, we're really good at a Facebook funnel, and that's all we do. One funnel. Right? Now we've built more funnels, but our core offering is one funnel that generates patients for our clients. We spend $300,000 a month in Facebook ads. We generate $2.3 million in patient leads every month, growing at an 18% rate. We generate over 8,000 leads per month through our strategy and our marketing. We just do one thing over and over and over again. That's how we built a $9 million recurring business in the last 12 months, right? What do you do for your clients? Be really clear about that. And then what type of businesses are going to benefit the most from that service? So if you do AdWords and you know that click to call or direct call ads work really well for service-based businesses, then go to service-based business and say, listen, if I get a hot buying customer on the phone for you and I can do that 20 to 30 or 50 times a month or 100 times a month, is that something that would be useful to you? There's an offer that you can make to people. That I would be hard pressed for any business who's in a service-based business who's using AdWords with a click-to-call strategy that would say, no, I'm not interested in having customers pick up the phone, call me, and want to ask me about buying my shit, right? Every single business that you make that pitch to is going to say, okay, how are we going to do that, right? Or yeah, tell me more, right? So what do you do? Who benefits the most? Right, those are the things. So here's an ascension of how you can successfully scale and grow your business. If you're super clear about what you do, you have clarity. That means you have certainty in your deliverables, you have certainty in the outcomes, you have certainty in the clients that can benefit the most. And with that certainty comes confidence. And with that confidence, it enables you to succeed and grow consistently. Now, here's what happens with the opposite. If you are unclear, you're not clear, you're not concise, you're not clear about your audience, the market, who is going to benefit the most in that process, then what happens is you have uncertainty in your business. So you're going to be a little bit all over the place. And with that uncertainty, you're going to lack confidence. You're not going to be confident to go out because you're kind of, I'm not sure what, we do a little bit of this, we do a little bit of that. And then from there with that loss of confidence, it's going to be really hard to grow your business. So remember, clarity, certainty, confidence, success, right? Growth in business, right? The opposite, unclear, uncertain, no confidence or lack of confidence, not successful, right? It's a really simple model. You just flip it on the head. Now, I know you guys know that the stuff you do works. All you got to do is share that with people and help them invest in the things that you know that work in your services. So picking a niche, it's often the biggest question I get asked. John, tell me what niche is the best niche that I need to be working on. Yeah. And I often say to people, it's really simple to pick a niche. In fact, later when we do the Q&A, if you really want to pick a niche, I'll show you exactly how to pick a niche within like a minute, within 30 seconds, a hot buying niche. But so for example, if I'm looking, so I'm using this as an example, who? Accounting firms, 5 to 10 partners, right? What? I do sales process, lead filtering, email marketing campaigns. That's what I do for them. Do I like them? Yes, I like them. They're interesting people. Some people don't like them. Can I help them? Absolutely. I know what I have to offer will work because I've seen it work for others. I see other people selling the same sort of stuff. So it is being validated that what I can do will work for them. Will they pay? If I target the right customer, make the right offer, price it on value rather than pricing it on price, yes, they will pay my services because they're already spending that kind of money with other people or they're already spending that money online. So that's all I need to know. Do I like them? Can I help them? Will they pay? Right? Who is it? What do I do for them? Right? Very, very simple. Most effective lead generation methods. I'm going to be talking about going direct to your customers today, going direct to creating opportunities today, because that's the fastest way to generate clients. And if you look at this chart here, this chart, when I first saw this, blew me away. 39% of all sales for successful agencies are made directly, direct sales, right? Going telemarketing, emailing, connecting, all of that is direct strategy. The second, 27% from events, webinars, and trade shows. Going to live conferences and events is huge for a lot of businesses, right? So more than 60% of the sales are made through a direct contact with a client. Look at social media and Facebook, only 5% of the sales from social media. That blew me away. I thought it was a lot more than that. But when I thought about it, I thought, you know what, that kind of makes sense. You know, that 5% of the business will come from Facebook. Traditional TV, radio, still strong, 10%. Online stuff, websites, search, about 17% of business comes as a lead generation from that source. But 61%. Now, here's a clue for all of you that are watching and listening to this. The clue is, if I look at the most successful agencies that I work with, and I speak to some of the biggest and most successful agencies in the world as well, I get to hang out with some pretty cool people. They all say the same thing, that their number one strategy is to go to direct, not to have inbound. I had the good fortune of spending some time with Gary Vaynerchuk last year. They grew their business from 2009, it's now 2017. VaynerMedia have gone from zero to $150 million in 10 years, right? That is massive growth. That shows you what's possible in an agency business. Their poverty pack, their cheapest package for social media content is $25K per month. Sign up on a 6-month contract. So you're in for 140 grand if you work for VaynerMedia. That's the least you're going to pay. The average client spends about $100,000 a month for their services. Now, I asked him, what's your number one lead generation, Gary? And guess what he said? We've got a whole bank of salespeople calling, emailing, and knocking out to our clients directly. That's how they grew their business to $150 million. If I look at our business in the agency business, a good 40 to 50% of our sales are generated directly by engaging the market directly and following up what we generate in terms of leads. If I look at Baldeep, his business 100% is about outbound. Right, he's doing a little bit of inbound, but most of his business is outbound. If I look at, the other agency business that I have, we only do outbound. We do very little inbound because inbound takes time. By the way, inbound is an awesome strategy to generate clients. I'm not negating inbound because I use inbound very, very effectively in most of my businesses. However, outbound is faster. Outbound is faster, way, way faster, because you can make a sale today. You can make a sale within 24 hours. You can make a sale within a week. Your sales cycle is much shorter if you go direct to the market, and especially if you have volume to go to. We'll talk about leveraging that in a little bit at the moment. So, are we cool, Baldeep? Everybody on track?
Yeah, guys, just so you know, everyone watching, if you have any questions, there is a link. It's biznotbs.com/questions. It's on the post above the video. Go ahead and start submitting questions. So when we get to the Q&A, you have everything you need answered from John directly.
Okay. So, all right, moving on. This is an email that I got from somebody on a price point. They did a direct contact strategy. This was with a professional services firm. They used a pitch process that I teach them. They were originally going to charge the client $6,000 for a website. I suggested that they charge the client $40,000. So they went one better. They got $46,000 for a website that they were going to charge $6,000 for. They made $40,000 net profit. However, they sold based on value rather than price. I have a client that I work with that sells their poverty pack, their cheapest websites, $30,000. $30,000 for a website. Their average website's about 120,000, and they build websites at 250K. I've got a consulting champion that I work with that sold a website for $1 million. One website for $1 million, right? None of this $2,000, $1,500. Let's go to Southeast Asia and build a cheap WordPress website. No, real strategy, real conversion. There's an agency that I work with based out of Tampa. They build websites for small businesses and build websites for medium businesses and larger businesses. Their cheapest website is $46,000. That's their cheapest website. $46,000 is their cheapest website, right? That's for small business. And they cannot handle the clients that they're generating. So it just shows you what's possible out there when you apply or when you focus on better quality clients in the market. So, lead sources. I want to show you where you can get bucket loads of leads all day long. Industry association websites, professional associations, the painters associations, the kitchen and bathroom renovators, remodelers, the accountants associations, the plastic surgery associations, the manufacturing, engineering associations, the pharmaceutical, the health niche association. Every single professional business on the planet has a governing body and an association that either arbitrates for them or licenses them or accredits them or provides training. This is the easiest place that you can find bucket loads of leads in vertical niche markets. Just go business associations, your city, and a whole bunch of local charters will turn up in Google search. It's easy to find. Trade show exhibitor lists. Look at events. What you do is if you find an association, check out the event page of the association. They would have had a conference. And if you go to the website, generally they have exhibitors, and you can actually download the exhibitors list and see who's spending $5, $10, $20, $30, $100,000 to be at a conference for 2 days to go and sell their wares. This is an ideal market because they're spending money to sell their products or services to direct to the market. Right? So there's a lead list for you. The top 10 or 5,000 lists in Google searches for businesses. The Inc. 5,000 list, both the US and America. Online aggregators, Houzz, Highbridges, DMB, Hoovers, Yelp, Manta, USA Info, all those services. Data listings, Compass, A to Z Business Guide. A to Z Business Guide is one of the best business guides. If you go down to this building called a library in your city, they actually have access to the A to Z Business Guide because they pay a fee for it, and you can get leads and lists for free if you go to the local library and say, hey, do you have the A to Z Business Guide? Right? LinkedIn groups, very powerful place to get leads. This is only a handful of places that you can get bucket loads of leads. There is no shortage of leads. There should never be a shortage of leads. Anybody that says I can't find anybody isn't looking or isn't doing shit, right? Because that's just not true. Right? There is no excuse for not being able to engage, find people out in the market. Okay, so here's an example. Remember Jasper Brown, the guy's doing $150,000 a month in recurring revenue. This is where he picked up his first 3 clients off a cold email. He sold AdWords to ad agencies on the Inc. 5,000 list. His monthly management fee was $8,000 a month, and he asked them to spend $30,000 a month on their advertising. And he targeted, as I said, ad agencies to do AdWords online to target agency clients for those clients. That was his first 3 clients. It took him less than 5 weeks, $24,000 in recurring revenue in 5 weeks. He'd never done AdWords in his life. He outsourced the whole process, and his first 3 customers, $8,000 a month in AdWords management. Wouldn't it be cool if you can generate $8,000 a month in AdWords management from your clients, as opposed to charging $500 or $1,000 or $2,000, right? That's what's possible. But the list is easy. This list is updated every year. In fact, I've had people scrape this list every year and pick and choose, cherry pick. In fact, a lot of the people I work with often use this as a list to go and find niche markets, because in here you can find out revenues, and you can find out how many employees, and you can find out what they are. And the next question is, who's not on the list? Who's their competition that you can go after as well? Easiest list on the planet to get to. So the sweet spot to target with people with money, I want to explain this very quickly. You're looking for CEOs, founders, and managing directors. You want to contact those people directly. It's the owner of the business. Businesses from 5 to 10 million up is the sweet spot, because generally businesses at 5 to 10 million, the owner still runs the business, the founder still runs the business, or a CEO runs the business. So they're very, very accessible. And when you start going up higher and they start hiring marketing directors and chief financial officers and chief IT officers or vice presidents of, then you have to start to generate multiple contacts within a market to get bigger sales, to work with bigger clients. But this is the sweet spot. The reason why these companies have a $250,000 to a $500,000 budget to spend on marketing and advertising. They generally spend about 5 to 10% of their revenue on marketing. Online, only about 20 to 30% of that revenue will be allocated to online. So that means a $5 million company can spend about $75,000 a year with you on average. A $10 million company will be able to spend up to $200,000 a year on average in terms of marketing costs online. So that just gives you an idea of the sweet spot or the budgets that you're aiming for. Marketing budget, $250K to $500K. Companies that need to feed sales teams. Anybody that has a sales teams, they need bucket loads of leads so they can keep those sales teams selling. So they need AdWords, Facebook advertising, banner ads. They need to be advertising on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on running campaigns all over the place. Those people need to feed their people. They need your help, right? By the way, it's really easy. Sorry, let me just put that back up again. It's really easy to find sales teams, right? Go to Indeed or Job Monster or whatever and look at the companies that are hiring salespeople. There's your lead list. Not the recruitment companies, but the actual companies that are hiring salespeople. Because if they're hiring salespeople, they need to be feeding leads to those salespeople. And one of the fastest way to get leads is online, right? So that gives you an insight into finding companies that will spend money. Because they're going to hire a salesperson, they're spending about $100,000 or $150,000 to hire that person. They need that person to make $1 million to $2 million a year to get their payback on hiring that person. So they need a truckload of customers to make that a reality. Okay, so that's what you need to be thinking about. Fastest direct strategy. I talk about an email sequence, and I'm going to share with you a couple of examples of these emails that you can swipe and you can use straight away and go and get clients today. Okay, so here's the thing: email sequence. Always an introductory offer. So what most people do is they make a mistake of only sending one email. I encourage you to send 4, and I'll help you understand the logic behind the 4 emails. The first email is an introductory offer. Can I show you? Can I bring you? Are you interested in? Can we do something? Right? Offer. Second email is, did you get that? Hey, did you get my email about the can I show you? Can I do something? Can I show you? Can I offer? That's the second email. The third email is, I'd love to know what you thought about my first and second email about showing, doing, helping, right? And the last email is, are you interested in this thing that I talked about? That's the last email. So you want to have a sequence going in your emails, not making one offer. You want to have a sequence of offers. The second thing is you want to follow up some of your emails, right? Because at the end of the day, nothing happens without a conversation. And if you've got something to follow up, then it's not so much a cold call. You have a perfectly valid reason to follow something up because you said, hey, I sent this to you. Hey, I shot this out to you. Did you get it? Hey, love to know what you thought about it. And you can actually easily follow up and make a sale. Or you can automate this process as well, right? The other way to do it, provide high value content, case study, a video on strategy or tactic, industry specific report, business analysis. You can make those sorts of offers. We've all seen them before. They can work too. I'm going to share an example of one that was brilliant and generated hundreds of thousands of dollars with a sale. So here is the strategy. We find and create a list. We source a decision maker, we send an introductory email, and we follow up with a quick call. We make an offer to show them how we can help them, set an appointment. We create a presentation or solution to offer them, and we help them become a customer. It's a really simple process. So here's an example of an email that I actually used and picked up a few clients on, and I did it old school. Okay, I found the emails old school, and I did it the old way. So here was the email, and I'll explain the 2 underlying areas. I was targeting accounting firms that do auditing. Auditing generally is a high ticket value. Most audits start at around 20 to 30,000 and they go up to $400,000 to $500,000. Accounting firms love audit clients because it's massive ongoing work. So what I'm going to do, hi Bob, can I share a system that can get your firm up to 30 audit client inquiries per month? If you're interested, just reply yes to this email. I specialize in targeting high value customers for the accounting industry. Now here's the link. You can do either or. Here's a link to a strategy that we know can generate great clients for your practice. I put an email together or a lead magnet together and say, hey, here's how we do it, right? Or I don't use that line. The second line is, I know you're busy, but can we get on a call to see if this will be helpful to your practice? If you're looking for clients that want to invest between 30K and 100K plus in your services, I'd like to send some your way. Looking forward to talking to you, right? So understand the psychology. I'm either going to send them to a piece of information that demonstrates what I can do, or I remove that barrier to entry and I'll go straight for the kill. Hey, I know you're busy. Can we get a call, see if this will be helpful to your practice? I'm looking for clients that want to invest. If you're looking for clients that want to invest between 30 and 100K plus in your services, I'd like to send some your way. Looking forward to talking to you, right? It's a pretty simple email. I know a lot of people have tried this email and got great success. I landed 2 sending this email out 2 months ago. So this is the exact email that I sent out that you get, right? So here's the thing. Next strategy. Simple offers can generate responses. Can I show you a strategy that can get you 30 to 50 qualified leads every month on autopilot? Can I show you how you can use automation to convert more sales and generate more inquiries? Can I show you how to find perfect customers on Facebook? Can I show you how to bring thousands of eyeballs to your website every single month? Can I show you how you can get more buyers from your website? Can I show you how you can turn your website into a sales generating machine? can I teach you how to is one of the best offers that you can make to people, especially if you make it relevant to people when you send that information. I would highly encourage you to make an offer today to share your skills on how you can get people to generate sales and opportunities for themselves. Tanner, one of the guys I work with, in fact, Tanner is one of the Biz Not BS members of the Biz Not BS community. The very first thing I told him to do was to go out to his social networks and make a direct offer to see if he can help them with their Facebook campaigns. 8 days later, $20,000 for clients. Because there were people saying, yeah, I need help with my Facebook campaign. His strategy is really simple. Does your current Facebook ad campaign suck? Let me have a look at it for you and see if I can fix it. That was his offer. Does your current Facebook ad campaign suck? Let me have a look at it and I'll fix it for you. That was his offer. 6 people said yes. 4 people became clients, $20,000 in sales in 8 days by doing this simple strategy. Hopefully you're listening and you get that idea and you go into your business groups and make an offer. So you can do that on LinkedIn. You can do that on anywhere, right? Here's a strategy of reverse engineering a successful strategy and then sharing that strategy. This is a landing page essentially, and the landing page headline is how a leading fitness equipment company increased their revenue and sales by more than 96% by automating their marketing processes. So you know that this is for the fitness equipment industry. It's a niche, right? How a company generated a great result by automating their marketing processes, right? This video was produced on Fiverr. It's an explainer video using Whiteboard, right? And all the person did, this is a consultant that I worked with, what they did was they found a case study on a website of a software company that does CRM, right? And then they went and hopped on their website and they basically opted in, talked to the company about what they did, got all their emails, reverse engineered the entire sales process. And then all he did was on a video explain exactly from step 1, this is how they did it. This is what they do and this is why it works, right? So he basically created a process to replicate. Now, if you want to talk to me further or learn more about how I can apply the same strategy for your business, just click this button and it goes to a calendar link. This is no funnel. It's a basic 1-page. It literally took this consultant a couple of days to put this together. He paid about $40 to have this landing page created, and it generated pretty much close to $400,000 worth of sales. One client, 250 grand. One client, and the client, this guy lives in America. The client was in Italy. A fitness equipment company in Italy saw this page. He sent 70 emails, only 70, and then asked them to watch the video. He got a number of phone calls from people and people reaching out to him saying, hey, tell me more about what this is and how it can work for us. So really powerful strategy. By the way, he didn't work for this company they did the case study on. He didn't tell them that he worked for the company. He made no misrepresentations. All he did was saying, hey, here's something that worked. Here's how it worked. Can I do this for you? I can do this for you, right? Great strategy to do. Best offer, teach people what you know. One-on-one training, live webinar, Facebook Lives, LinkedIn events, training for association groups. I've got a consulting client, one of my Consulting Champions members, who actually gets paid by an association to show up once a month to do a webinar for the association on online marketing strategies. And they essentially specialize in SEO and Facebook ads and web development. They're the 3 core parts of their service. They pick up 5 to 8 clients every single month from that webinar that they get paid to deliver to an association. I taught him how to actually get paid to teach and at the same time open the door to generating customers. So really simple process, training for association groups. You can offer and say, hey, do you offer any training for online stuff for your association? Maybe we can run a couple of training sessions online and show people how they can get better results. Generally what will happen is people say, hey, you guys are really cool. Can you help us? It's an amazing way to get plenty of leads. Evergreen lead magnet video landing page with an appointment scheduler. I just showed you that. Live event. Business groups, conferences, networking events. Remember, 27% of all sales made from events, webinars, attending trade shows, right? There's a website called 10times.com, 10times, TIMES.com. Go to that website, type in your city, and it'll show you every single event that's happening on in your city. It'll also show you all the trade shows, and when you click on the link, it'll show you who organizes, it'll show you lists, it'll show you attendees. There's a whole bunch of information for free where you can pick up a whole bunch of leads and actually connect with business owners that are spending money on marketing in your city or in your hometown or within half an hour's driving distance of wherever you are, unless you're living out in the boonies, right? So easy place to get clients. Simple pitch. I'm actually going to go back one step just to preface this. Somebody asked me the other day, John, how can I get, I need to talk to business people, and I need to talk to them fast, and I just want to make some appointments because I'm sick and tired. I want to make some sales, right? So they asked me this question. I said, okay, if you do this, I'm going to give you a pitch. I'm going to tell you to go to a specific thing. You're going to be invited to present yourself, right, to a group of people, and you're going to, normally what people do is they talk about themselves and what they do, right? What I'm going to ask you to do is not to talk about yourself, I want you to add value and make an offer in the time that they give you. So there are many, many events around the world, meetups, BNIs, Chamber of Commerce's, conference events that have the ability to network with groups, but any networking group, networking breakfast, referral networks, there's tons of places. The places that I choose generally will be attached to a central business district. So downtown, if there's a group, I would go to a downtown group because the downtown people service people in downtown, and the people in downtown pay the biggest rents. They work with the biggest clients, right? So generally, I will go, if I was going to do this strategy, I would go to a downtown networking event of some kind. Preferably a breakfast, because at breakfast you'll find most CEOs and decision makers will turn up to a breakfast as opposed to going to a lunch or going to a dinner. Plus at breakfast you're more alert, you're more alive. It's a real motivating thing to do. So if you do this, if this is a script, it takes less than 2 minutes to do. It's really simple. I'm going to go word for word. I'm going to explain the psychology. I'm going to leave the slide up. I know Baldeep is recording this, so you'll be able to go back and find this, right? But the record for appointments on this at the moment is 17. I've done 13 appointments doing this in one hit, but one of the consulting champions that I work with did this strategy, picked up 13 appointments. I've had people, when I've shared this on the live training, have gone and done this, and I've had people email me say, yeah, I picked up 5 appointments, I picked up 4 appointments, I got 7 appointments, I got 8 appointments, right, who do this. So I'm going to share with you a really simple pitch that if you want to do this and go and get appointments really fast with people who are interested in spending money with you on marketing, that's the key to this strategy. Baldeep, are we ready to do this?
Go for it, John. Go for it.
All right, so here is the script. I'm going to break it into 3 parts so that you understand the psychology, but it's really simple and it works. It works like gangbusters. If you want appointments, go and do this in the next 48 hours. Go and find, I'll guarantee you can find some networking event meetup to go to with businesses and entrepreneurs in your local area or in your city or in your business. You can do this, right? So here's the thing. Step 1, it's a simple pitch. The idea is to get 5 to 15 appointments in 2 minutes. So think about this. I'm at an event, right? So I'm going to a networking, let's say I'm going to a BNI, right? Where they have businesses there, right? These businesses, I'm not just interested in helping them, I'm more interested in helping their clients, because most smaller networking groups, they tend to be smaller businesses, but they do work for bigger clients, and I'm looking to build relationships with people who can introduce me to bigger clients, right? And some of those people will buy my services in those meetings. We compliment the organizer. So we're going to sit there and say, let's say Baldeep was the organizer of the networking event I was attending. And this is what I would say. Hey, Baldeep, I really appreciate it. I just want to say big shout out to Baldeep, organizing a great group here. This is awesome. It's great to see so many business people here interacting and looking to open the door to doing business. So I want to thank you for doing that, Baldeep. My name is John Logar, and I want to let me ask you all a simple question, right? Who is looking for a customer that is putting up their hand and asking, can you help me answer some questions about your product, or more importantly, can you help me buy your product or service? For those of you in this room, who is looking for a customer like that, can you please put up your hand if you're looking for lots of these types of customers? Now, if you ask that question, every single person in the room is going to put up their hand, right? I want customers all day long that are interested in my product. I want customers all day long that want to buy my product, right? So first question, who is looking for a customer that is putting up their hand and asking, can you help me answer some questions about your product? Or more importantly, can you help me buy your product or service? Please put up your hand. Every person in the room would put up a hand. Second question, thanks, that's all of you. Second question, who here is running a reputable business, is willing to invest in their marketing, and do everything possible to help customers buy their product or service? Please put up your hand, right? So let me read that out to you. Second question, who here is running a reputable business, is willing to invest in their marketing, and do everything possible to help customers buy their product or service? Please put up your hand, right? So that's the question. So third question, one final question. If you gave me $1 for your marketing and I gave you $5 return every time you invested $1, who would like that kind of ROI on their marketing today? If you gave me $1 and I gave you $5 back every time you invested $1 in your marketing with me, who would like that kind of return on investment on their marketing? Please put up your hand. Every single person will put up their hand. They want a 5-to-1 ratio or 10-to-1 ratio. So if you want me to show you a simple plan that will demonstrate how you can achieve that for your business, make sure you give me your business card before you leave here today, right? So I'll go through the final question. If you gave me $1 and I gave you $5 back, who would like to play that slot machine all day long, right? Give me $1, give you $5 back. Who would be in that with me? Yes or yes, right? Second, if you want me to show you a simple plan that'll demonstrate how you can achieve that for your business, make sure you give me your business card before you leave here today. I will guarantee you, if there's 20 people in a room, the least amount of contacts you're going to walk out is 5 people saying, yeah, come and talk to me. This is the fastest way to generate appointments of business owners if you do this at a live event. Very cool strategy. So one simple action, 4 strategies. I teach this to the people that I work with. Baldeep does this very effectively in his business, but the simple strategy basically is make a direct offer. If you want to make money today, right, if you've got people on your list, if you've worked with people in the past, if you've had conversations in the past, right now, craft an email and say, hey, are you interested in this? Can I show you this? Or you can craft an offer and say, hey, I've got a deal. Are you interested? Make a direct offer today. The people who offer often are the ones that make the most sales. The more offers you put out, the more sales you make. I have a friend of mine who was in the email marketing world and worked with a lot of business clients, and he used to send out an offer every 3 months, and then he would make sales every 3 months. Every time he sent an offer, he would make some sales. Then he would send. Then I said, listen, why 3 months? Why aren't you sending it out monthly or weekly? So he said, okay, I'll start sending a monthly. So he started sending a monthly. He says, yeah, I'm still making sales every month. Awesome. Then I said, well, why don't you send an email out every single week? And he said, wow, now we're going to really sort of start pissing off my lifts. I said, well, no, not if the offer is relevant. Make the offer relevant. So he started sending emails out every week for an offer. And guess what? He was making sales every week. Then I said, you know what would be really cool? If you send out an offer every single day, see what happens. So he started sending an offer. What happened is 25% of his list unsubscribed. That 25% he didn't need anyway because they weren't going to buy anything. But the 75% that stayed were the ones that kept buying. So every day he sent out an offer, he was making sales every single day. The more you offer, the more money you'll make. The more times you offer, the more opportunities you create. It's the number one thing that you want to be doing. So 1 hour a day, right? If you could make one offer to a handful of people or 1,000 people or however many people, I'll guarantee you right now, if you go and make an offer today, that you're going to get a response. If you make it clear, if you make it relevant, if you make it a good opportunity, you will make sales. I did this at a live event in Bangkok. I've done this many times. In fact, it's one of the strategies I teach at our My Lives live events, which you'll find out in a moment. And we get people making sales within 24 hours. Some people making inquiries within an hour of pushing the button. Some people within minutes, happening live by making a direct offer. The other thing is make one appointment per day. If you make one appointment per day in a 5-day working week, that's 20 appointments per month. If you had 20 sales opportunities per month, what would that do to your agency business? 1 appointment per day, 5 a week, 20 a month, right? Most people don't do this. But if you had 1 hour, if the rest of your day you did whatever you wanted to do and you only had 1 hour a day to focus on this one thing, I'll guarantee you could generate 1 appointment per day easily. Just with some of the stuff I shared with you today, you could generate 1 appointment per day or 2 or 3 or 4, right? Now, best strategy ever, teach what you know. Teach what you know. whether it be on a live webinar, whether it be in live training, whether it be in person, if you say, hey, can I show you how this works and how it can work for your business? Let me walk you through exactly how to do it. Most people can say, that's really cool. How much would it cost us for you to do that for us? I have a consultant that built a course, and he was pre-selling the course to people. It was on Facebook advertising for financial services. He was pre-selling the course, and the course is about $2,000, and he wanted to get about 10 people in the course so he could teach him how to do Facebook advertising to generate financial services leads, right? This is what happened. And I said, don't build the course, just make the offer, right? The first 5 people that he offered to said, hey, that's a great idea. We don't have time, but can you do the whole thing for us? Picked up 5 clients just offering a course that he hadn't even made, because people wanted it done for them. They didn't want to learn how to do it because they were too busy being the person they are. They're looking for somebody to take over, right? So teach what you know, very powerful. Talk to one prospect in the market to understand their business. This is really critical. And this is why we do so well in the agencies I have. And if I look at the top performing consultants that I work with, they understand this like a T. The more you understand how your market works, thinks, does business, engages customers, what the buying behaviors are, the more you understand business and how it works, the easier it is for them to buy you because you understand them. Stephen Covey said in one of his 7 habits of highly effective people, and it's a very powerful one, seek to understand and then seek to be understood. Understand people that you want to do business with, then help them understand how you can benefit them. That's what you want to do. It's one of the most powerful strategies because it refines your message, it clarifies your offers, and you will get a much better result. One of the guys I work with, Richard, in fact, Will was another guy that I work with. They get 75 to 90% open rates on their emails. The reason why they get 75 to 90% open rates on their emails is because their emails are incredibly relevant. They've asked enough questions, talked to enough people, had the relationships that they needed to get the right hook or the right idea that resonates with their audience. That's why they get a ton of open rates. That's why they get a ton of appointments. Richard gets about 15 to 25 appointments a week just off cold email, nothing else. Now he's starting to do webinars for people as well. But can you imagine getting 25 appointments a week? Not 25 appointments a month, 25 appointments per week, because you're relevant. Know your customers. If you understand their business, it makes it easy for them to hire you to help them with what you can offer in the market. So my big question is, are you ready to scale this thing up and speed it up? Because what I'm going to share with you today is something that Balldeep has kindly organized with all of you that are on this live training. Is you get to spend 2 days with me live working on your business and getting you out of the gate. And I'm going to share with you what's happening. So in New York City on the 30th of November and the 1st of December, which is coming up in about 3.5 weeks time, I'm holding a live event. If you go to consultingunleashedlive.com, you'll be able to see that event on basically fast tracking and accelerating your consulting growth. We're basically going to be implementing real-time strategies, and we're going to develop a plan, and we're going to show you how to engage clients and get better results. In fact, you're going to be doing it at the live event if you do decide to come along. Balldeep came to my live event in New York last year. We're coming around a year, Balldeep. I can't believe that it's been a year since we did this. You came out of the live event, and within 28 days, this is what you sent me. You basically applied a strategy from, in fact, you got 11 appointments, and I think you got a deal at the live event, yeah?
Yeah, that event was good.
Sorry?
I said that event went well for me.
Yeah. So, in 28 days of applying what Balldeep learned at the live event, he was able to generate $15,000 in recurring revenue. Jeff Tormey came to one of our live events. He closed a $90,000 deal. Sorry?
He was at that one. I met him there.
Yeah, he was at that one. Jeff came to that deal. So out of that event, he closed a $90,000 deal by applying the strategies we did in the event. Dan, who came to my event in Austin, Texas, started selling 10 to 30K a month packages, $500,000 worth of business within 4 months. Now he runs a massive community called Coffee with Dan. He's an amazing entrepreneur. He's started several businesses, and now he's also expanding his agency business as well. So you want to be in this room. This is in New York City, in Manhattan, near Times Square. We're going to be talking about targeted niche market strategies, fast action plans to generate client engagement. We're going to walk out of there with a 90-day plan to add $100,000 to $200,000 to your business. We're looking at ways in you can engage strategic alliances to leverage other people's databases, how to engage big clients from events, trade shows, and conferences, and how to scale fast in terms of utilizing resource partners. So this is, in fact, this is a couple of people that came to our San Diego live event. We had Vlad here who picked up $42,000 worth of sales by applying a strategy by directly selling his pitches. In fact, he came to the Denver event and within 24 hours generated $40,000 worth of sales by making a direct offer from the Denver live event that was held a few months ago. We've got Tim Conley joining us, who's talking about scaling from 6 to 7 figures and beyond. He's got a great presentation to give you all the mindsets and also the milestones in business and how you go about achieving that growth. He is an expert in this field. He specializes in building leadership teams for companies and helping them scale that way. He is an amazing person to listen to, and he's been kind enough to fly out to New York for the live event to share those strategies with you. We're also going to have a surprise guest. Is a multi-7-figure agency. Is a member of Consulting Champions. They've done have added 7 figures in 9 months to their business. Over 160K monthly revenue in 6 months. Is going to be sharing some of the ideas and what happened with his growth rate. We've got a special guest coming along. So the mastermind. A ticket to the mastermind is $11.97. You get the strategy and playbook for $9.97, but normally it's $2,194. But you here on this live can come for free. So you can come to my live event happening on the 30th of November and the 1st of December for free. If you go to consultingunleashedlive.com, what you need to do is use the coupon code of BIZ not BS, BIZ not BS. It is a $100 refundable deposit. The reason we just need to make sure that you secure the booking and you show up, we will refund you the deposit when you've come to the live event. If you go to Consulting Unleashed Live, you can spend 2 days with me working on your business. We actually do a fast action strategy at the live event. If you go to the page, you'll see where you can buy a ticket. You'll see enter promotional code, enter biz not BS, enter the code, and the ticket will be it'll be $100. It'll be a refundable ticket. You can come to New York for free. Now, here's what's going to happen inside. By the way, you'll be provided with breakfast, morning and afternoon teas, and I will be providing a lunch for you as well at the live event. So you will be catered for at the live event. If you go to the event page, there are 4 or 5 hotels very close to the venue that are offering discounted rates to attend. So it's not very expensive to come to the actual event. And the fact that you're actually getting this 2-day event for free. Purely because Ball Deep has been amazing and very supportive of the work that I've been doing. He's been able to arrange for you to get a huge subsidy of free to this live event. As I said, the ticket is refundable, $100, just to make sure that you secure booking. It also helps us to make sure we've got our catering numbers right so that you can attend the event. Just to give you an insight, in this event, we do that. One of the first things we do on the first day is we are going to be actioning a live client engagement strategy in the actual room itself, and I will be constructing and creating your campaign. I will be actually doing the scripting and the copywriting for your campaign in the live event. Right, Ball Deep has seen me do this. We did 45 campaigns we did at the Denver event. I did that in an hour and a half, and people pressed the button. There were people literally running out of the room because people were actually coming back to them saying, yes, I'd like to talk to you. We had one couple in there with a person, they literally sent an email, and 3 minutes later, they got somebody saying, hey, here's my number. Yes, let's talk. They had to leave the room to go and have a conversation, and then they actually closed that sale from a cold strategy. So there's 2 strategies I'm going to create for you. One is a direct offer and one is for an appointment in the live event. The idea is I want you to make money from this live event. I want to show you how fast you can actually generate clients and generate opportunities and scale your business. So if you come to the live event, you get to work with me, you get to hang out with me, you get to hang out with some of our 7-figure people, you'll get to hang out with Ball Deep and some of his crew. I know Oz Connor is on this call as well. He came to the San Diego event. He's added more than $500,000 to his business by applying some of the tactics and strategies that I teach. Let me tell you, if you're looking for a growth spurt, before the end of the year and leading into the new year, I would highly encourage you to come to consultingunleashedlive.com, New York City, on the 30th of November, 1st of December. The tickets will sell out. I'm only giving away a certain number of tickets for free in this offer, so it will sell out, because remember, it's a fairly intimate event. So if you're serious about your consulting business, if you want to grow and scale, if you want me to work on a campaign with you live, if you want to hang out with other people who are scaling and growing their agencies, if you want to hear their stories and how they've done it and how they've been able to do that rapidly, then you want to be at this event. So enough of me talking about that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to go back to you, Baldeep.
All right.
And
all right.
Hopefully I can answer your questions.
Yeah. All right. Thanks again. I'm hearing an echo. Hold on. On you, maybe? All right. So yeah, thanks again, guys. All the group owners that let me share this out to your groups. Everybody that's watching in whatever group can participate for that promotion. Join us in New York City. I will be there. And one thing I can say about John's events is that there's always high-level, high-caliber people there. So it's definitely different than the internet marketing type events, but we actually go in and we get shit done. So if you're in the New York City area or planning to or can fly out, it's definitely you're not going to want to miss it. And correct me if I'm wrong, John, you're not doing another one in this version ever,
no,
right? This is like the last one.
No, this is it. This will be the last time I do this event in this way. I can't, it costs a lot to put these events on. One of the reasons I've been doing it this way is I just wanted to see, we can test different ideas and strategies to see how quickly we can scale. And doing this already, I've been doing these events all year. This is the fourth one like this that I've done. But I will not be offering it in this format. It'll be a much more highly paid event in future. But for those of you who really want to make it happen, just go to consultingunleashedlive.com and then use the Biz Not BS code. That ticket is a refundable ticket. You'll get the playbook, you'll get the campaigns, and you'll get me working on your campaign, and you'll be able to collaborate and communicate at that event. As I said, it's one of those things. Every event is different. I share different tactics and strategies at every single event. I don't talk about the same stuff. And the reason I do that is because I'm applying and I'm learning and working with so many different agencies that I'm drawing in from what's working, and then I can share that in the live event. So if you're keen to get the latest stuff that's actually working and getting great results, if you're keen to generate appointments for yourself, if you're keen to actually make money, sales, in a 24-hour period live, then I would love to see you there. We only have a certain number of tickets available. If you go to consultingunleashedlive.com, Biz Not BS, BIZNOT BS as the code, you'll get a refundable ticket and you can get to come to that event for free. I've got people traveling from Australia, from Southeast Asia. I've got people traveling from Europe over this. There's going to be people from all over the world, and I've got some amazing consultants who are going to be coming into that room that you can hang out with, who are also scaling and growing, targeting bigger clients. So if you're keen, I'd be delighted to help you. I'll be delighted to work on your campaign in the live event. Let me tell you, I'm a very, very expensive campaign creator. I charge my clients tens of thousands of dollars to do this, literally, in my agency work. So, Baldeep, I'm happy to answer questions, man.
Yeah, so guys, just a reminder, biznotbs.com/questions. There's a link in every group that this is shared to. I went and posted the link. Also above this video, there's a link to just submit questions for John. We do have him here for a little bit longer. So any questions you guys want answered, just start typing away. And I'm going to start just reading off some questions that we have that have come in. And if this makes you want to follow up, whoever did ask these questions, go ahead and just post it and I'll get to it. And I don't know how much time you have, John, but we should be able to get through most of them.
Mate, I'm here for as long as you need me, man. I'm happy to hang out. So I'm at your mercy, my friend.
Okay.
Or at the mercy of the questions.
Let's start off with this one. Where do you find momentum when starting out? So That was the question.
Okay, that's a great question. So momentum means that you're actually doing something. Momentum means that you're actually taking action. So for me, I want to talk to people as quickly as possible. So I will do multiple things. So I'll either engage people directly, shoot out an offer, follow those things up, have conversations, a little bit a day, 1 hour a day. In fact, what I shared with you on this training, I do in my business and I do myself. The last thing I do if I didn't action a direct income generating activity is to make a direct offer. It's easy to do. Pull a list of 20 or 30 people, put an offer together, see if they're interested. Every time I've done that, at least one out of every, sorry, probably I would say 3 out of every 5, I've always gotten results in sales from. So how do you get momentum? Momentum only occurs when you're actually taking the action. The other thing that people do is they get a client, and what they do is they do fulfillment straight away, right? So they get, oh, great, I've got a customer, they're paying me, I've got to fix all the systems up, blah, blah, blah. And whilst you're doing that, you're actually slowing yourself down. What you should be doing is quickly going, getting a second client, doubling down and quickly going, getting second, third, fourth, fifth. Then once you get between the 5th and the 8th client, you take a bit of a breather. But the best way to handle fulfillment is to outsource it. Work with a resource partner that can do the work with you, so they can handle the fulfillment. So what you focus on is generating more clients and growing your business. So hopefully that answers a momentum question.
Okay. All right, next question. Which method do you find most effective to get clients? And also, do you have any tips when it comes to cold calls and emails? I run a production company that also does marketing strategy. I think this question came in before, so you did cover some of it. Go ahead.
Okay, so if I was starting out from scratch and I wanted to get out of the gate quickly and get clients, there's 3 things that I would do. Number 1, I go direct. Cold email, straight out to the market, make a direct offer, follow that offer, work towards generating clients. That's easiest. That's the bootstrapping, lowest barrier to entry. I can go straight out of the gate by shooting a couple of emails. The second thing that I'm looking for is a strategic alliance. Who serves my customer list? Who's got a customer list that's their customers? They're the same customers I want to work with. How do I add value to that person? So if I can build a strategic alliance where I can add value or a partnership, that exposes me to opportunities very quickly. They've already got the relationship. It's much easier to sell when somebody else is introducing you to that. So that's the second thing. Third thing is I'd be advertising. I'd be running Facebook ads or AdWords campaigns directly to the market, lead magnet, make an appointment, or pick up the frickin' phone and call me, I'll help you out. So I would run campaigns. So those are the 3 things that I would do. First, go direct, cold email, easy to follow up. Second, work with a channel partner. So to give you a perspective of how we generated 150 clients. We went from 2 channel partners at the beginning of the year to the end of the year, we had 12 channel partners. We built 12 strategic alliances that opened the door to us enabling to get 140 clients on board in 12 months. That's how we did it. We used strategic alliance to do it, right? And then we allowed them to introduce us, and we had an event mechanism that we used to convert those clients. So fastest method, go direct. The other thing is, if I really want to make sales quickly, for me, a list. Who do I know in my network that I can help? Am I in a Facebook group? Am I in a business group online? Does anybody need help with? Fastest way to get clients is to offer your help, right? So I would do that straight away as well. So those are the things that I would do very quickly. And the key here is I would make a very relevant offer. It has to be reasonable. It has to be relevant. Something that would appeal to people. Be very direct with what you're offering. Keep it short, very succinct. Don't go into long sales pages. Nobody has time anymore. But yeah, my personal network first, social network first, direct market targeting, cold email, strategic alliance, leverage to other people's database, go and run some ads, get some clients.
All right, awesome.
Sorry, that was 4 things. That was 4 things, not 1 thing.
He just wanted 1 thing. Keep it to the 1 next time. All right, so what would be a good script to pitch a meeting planner to come speak at their event?
Okay, so first of all, you got to think about what the event is, who their audience is, and why your topic is important to them. What is the best value that you can give to that audience? Because that, to me, that's important. Who's the audience, and why should they be interested in what I've got to say? So first of all, you've got to start with what the value is. Then you can go to the person and say, hey, I've been looking at your group, looking at your audience. I notice you get speakers for your event. I'm wondering if these couple of topics, based on what I've seen and doing a little bit of research out there, would be relevant to your audience. I'm more than happy to go and do a half-hour presentation as a value add for your group. I have done that many times, and I've been able to speak to conferences all over the world. And sometimes, in fact, a lot of times I get paid to speak. Sometimes I look at the currency and I'll offer my opportunity to speak for free, with the fact that I can either get the list of the attendees or I can invite the attendees to something. I'd never pitch at a live event if I'm presenting. It's always, hey, if you want to know more, just go to this link and I'll give you more. It's never, hey, pitch this. Or if you're not allowed to pitch, I'll give you a really simple script in a moment, what you can do to get people literally to throw their business cards and literally run to you in a moment. But for me, is what I've got relevant? How will it help that audience? What is the theme of the conference? Let me tell you, when you start looking for events and venues around the place, it's really easy. And generally, it's not the meeting planner that decides who the speakers are. It'll be conference organizers within the business, or somebody will be responsible for hiring speakers and vetting speakers. So that's the person you want to find first, not the event organizer. The meeting planner can introduce you to who that person is. So that's what I would do. Make it relevant, make it valuable. Make the offer. You want to do this well in advance in events so they can put you in any material, promotion material, and also say that you'll help market their event as well. Because if you're going to present an event, you might as well let people know that you're presenting an event. So again, you're supporting their cause of bringing more people to make their event successful as well. If you can't get a speaking gig, get on a panel. Suggest they do a panel and be a panel moderator. As soon as you're a panel moderator, you're sitting up there with 5 key experts in the industry or 4 key experts in the industry, and you're the person on the end of that panel. All of a sudden, you're one of the experts. So it's a great way. You're not presenting, you're just answering questions about what's going on. So inviting, if they can't fit you in as a speaker, offer to do a panel discussion and to moderate that panel discussion. That way, you get exposure to a huge audience. I've seen people I've done that many times. If I can't get a speaking gig, I'll say, hey, why don't we do a panel? So hopefully that answers that question, Aldi.
And also another point I'd like to add, go to the actual events. So if they do more than one or they do a series, like earlier today, I was at an expo. Didn't really like this expo compared to the other ones they do, but I happened to run into the person that runs the event management. And I asked him about speaking opportunities, and I got his card, like right in my hand right here. They have 3 events that they run in the area. And he's basically said, hey, I only handle making sure everything's, organized with all this, with the booths and everything. But, contact me on LinkedIn and I'll put you in touch with whoever is in charge of that. Right.
There you go.
So that's, go to the event, find the people that are working the event and talk to them.
Yeah.
Another thing.
The owners.
Yeah, another thing too that I'll add that worked well for me, and John talks a lot about trade show strategies and strategies on how to work those types of shows, and he has a lot of experience in it. From my experience, what I found that works well, just being that I've ran a lot of booths myself for other companies, I just go up to the booths that I know that I have that's in my vertical, or somebody I know I could possibly help, and I'll just start asking them like probing questions about their marketing, about their strategy, about their customers, about who their target market, all this. I'll just start asking them these questions, and all of a sudden they're just taken aback, and they're like, and then I subsequently follow that up with, oh, the reason why I asked is because I do this, and I'm just interested in your model, and I don't pitch them anything, but typically I'll just get their information, and I let them on their way. So one of the biggest things at events is those people spend money for that booth. They don't want to talk to you about you selling them shit. They want to speak to the people that are at the event to try and generate sales. So I always let other people get in front of me to speak to them. When I get a minute, I ask them probing questions, get their information. And I picked up a client so far that I've had to put 10 grand in my pocket from an event back in May or June. And he just emailed me. He just texted me today, literally right before we went on the live, saying, hey, I need to put another 2 grand into leads. So I got to do that.
Absolutely.
So go to those. Yeah. Those strategies are great. If you have events in your area, don't wait for them. Do other things as they're coming, but make sure you go to them when they're around.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Next question. How do you know what price point to offer your service at?
Okay. So pricing models, this is a huge question because most people, one of the things that I will highly encourage everybody who's watching this live stream around, I want you to all double your prices on your current packages now. Double your prices and offer that to the next client. You'll be surprised your people will say yes and they'll buy it because you control the price, not the customer. People often ask me, John, how do I get people to buy bigger packages from me? And my first question is, so what's your big package? And they go, I don't have one. Well, it's going to be pretty freaking hard to buy your big package if you don't have one, right? The first thing is have a freaking package that's big to sell them, to offer it to them, and then they go, that makes sense. There's value in that. I'll buy it, right? So they can't buy it if you don't offer it, right? That's the first thing. Second thing is a pricing model. If you're using outsourced provider, this is a base strategy. So I wouldn't stick to this strategy because I tend to price on value, not on percentages. But if I'm using an outsourced provider and they're charging me $1,000, I would charge $3,000 for that service. So I will put a 100% retail markup on top of the service. So that way the cost is 30% to me, and I'm making that 70% gross profit margin is what I'm looking for. So most people think doubling the price is 100%. It's not, because that means you still have to pay the service provider. You only get to keep 50% of the cost of the sale, right? If you want 100% of the sale, you have to triple the price. So 3 times cost, right? In terms of pricing on value, I look at what a customer's worth to a business. I remember showing you the email from Larry at the beginning, who sold the $46,000 website. The reason why they got that deal is because the average customer to that particular service firm was between $10,000 and $30,000 per customer. So they only needed 2 customers to pay for that website, and that's how we pitched it. We need 2 clients, and anything after that is a bonus, right? So you can price on value, and I always look on 10x on value. So if I know that I can make $1 million, I'm charging them $100,000. If I know I can make them $2 million, I'm going to charge $200,000. I have a CRO specialist, conversion rate optimization specialist, for those of you who don't know what a CRO specialist is, who charges based on value proposition of how much business they generate for the client. So last month, they generated $3 million in sales last month for their client. They charge the client $300,000 for that $3 million. That's a month, not a year, a month. So price on value, 5 to 1, 10 to 1, right? Work towards what sort of result you can get. You can actually charge a much higher price for the same service. But for those of you on this call, double your prices, and the next pitch you do, offer it to a customer and see if they buy it. I'll guarantee you a lot of you will get a sale and you'll get twice as much money for the same amount of work. Because most people here undercharge for what they do. We undercharge for what they do. Now, if you're scared about doubling your prices, increase your price by 20%. And then the next person you sell to, increase it by 20%. And the next person until you hit a ceiling. When you hit that ceiling, what you do is you add a little bit more value to your product or pricing and then increase the price again, right? You don't stop increasing your prices, yeah? So that's my strategy on pricing, Baldy.
Sounds good. Yeah, since I've been working with John, I have increased my price. Like now, I don't take certain clients. John knows I'm super picky and one thing actually I want to touch on, because you mentioned it before on how when you identify your target market, like identify which companies to work with, that budget between was it 2 to 5 million or 2 to 10 million, whatever it was. No, 5 to 10 million. I'm sorry. What I have noticed when I first started and I was just taking anybody and everything, those are the types of clients that always call you and harass you, and they're like penny pitching everything you're spending, and like they're like, hey, we're getting these leads, but then they suck at conversion, so now you're having other problems. The clients that my easiest clients to work with are the ones that pay me the most, that like you said, have sales teams they need to feed, and they pay me the most, and I never speak to them. Literally, I reach out to them just to make sure that everything's okay, because I don't want to lose them because they're a big paying client, but they typically don't bother me. They typically don't bother me. I get checks from them consistently, bigger checks, and ever since I started working with John, that's just like the types of clients I start looking for. So that being said, go ahead and take all. I always tell people, take whatever you can get to get your experience going, because you're gonna do it anyway. So just get it out of your system, and then focus. Once you have your base, then focus on just the ones you want to work with, not everybody and anybody.
Yeah. And that's exactly right. You want to be targeting better clients who will pay higher fees, who'll get more value from you because you value what you deliver to those clients. So and they don't harass you. As I said, small businesses, local businesses, small budgets, They're really scared about spending the money. They're always going to be pushing you for better results. You can't give people. There's two things I say to people. You got a choice. You can under-resource me, and I'll guarantee you a mediocre or a terrible result. Pay me a little bit of money, I'll guarantee you a crappy result, right? Or you resource me correctly, and I'll guarantee you an outstanding result. You get to choose which one. Pay me a little bit of money, shitty result. Pay me a lot of money, awesome result. What do you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Often people get it, right, when you put in those terms. Under-resource me, mediocre. Resource me correctly, I'll be outstanding. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so we asked the price point. Somebody brought up a follow-up. You said those. You said. Oh, somebody asked another question while I'm reading. Okay. Okay. How do you know what? Oh, somebody deleted that question then. Okay. I guess you answered it. What are John's favorite niches? Okay. That's the next
Oh
question.
man, I love that question because everybody asks me that question. So I'm going to go across. First, we're going to go across big, and then I'm going to narrow it down.
Before you get into it, John, I want to there is a few questions that are similar to that. So I'm just going to lay them all out there so we don't have to read the same question over. And they're just very, not too many.
Yeah.
So what are your favorite niches? What niches are in the sweet spot? Let me find another one here. What are your worst niches to avoid? And what else do we have on niches? I think that's pretty much covering all the niche stuff. So let's get into that.
Okay, so all right, so my first answer to the first question of what is the best niches. The best niches are the ones that are already spending money on advertising promotion. That is the number one. They're the number one niches. Now, here's the thing. In every industry, every business on the planet needs to be found online right now. They need to be found online. They need to have a strategy online. It doesn't matter if they're service-based business, if they're technically based businesses, if they're retail, if they're professional, if they're industry specific, they all need to be found online. Google any service for any location, and if you see AdWords on that page, it means that those businesses are spending money to acquire customers. So the first thing is what businesses, let's get broad first. What businesses need to consistently generate customers? That's the first question you want to answer. The second question you want to answer is what businesses need to make as many sales as possible and as much money in a sale as possible when they get a customer. And the third question is what businesses need customers to keep coming back and buying more and more and more or referring customers. So more clients, more revenue, more often. What businesses need those? The answer to that question is every freaking business on the planet. Now, remember I said the sweet spot, right? 5 million up, bigger businesses. If you're a $5 to $10 million business, you are spending money on marketing. You can't grow your business without marketing. You can't grow your business without advertising and promoting. You can't grow your business without engaging your market and doing those sorts of things. It's impossible to do that now, right? You have to be spending money on marketing. So that's the number one criteria. So if you want to pick a niche, who's spending money on marketing? You know, who's spending money on AdWords, who's spending money on Facebook advertising, who's spending money. There's great tools like iSpionage, AdEspresso, SpyFu, all these sorts of tools that can show you who's spending cash. So to go broad, anybody that's spending money on marketing, anybody that is hiring sales teams, that covers a lot of different niches, right? Now, here's the thing. Niches that I don't like and niches that I wouldn't start in the business, where the entry to a decision maker is a long sales cycle, or it is a very difficult, because the vocation is so specific, it's hard to get into them. That's not to say that I wouldn't do that, but I would look at my strategy of how I would do that. So a perfect example, and everybody wants to do this, everybody wants to sell to freaking dentists. Everybody wants to sell to plastic surgeons. Everybody wants to sell to high-end neurosurgeons, and they want to sell to those types of practices. The problem is you've got to get to the doctor because the doctor runs a practice. Now, here's the thing. The doctor is not, in most cases, is the clinician, not a practice owner. right? So it takes time to build that relationship. You've got to hang out with them. I know how to get into those markets really, really fast. That's not to say that I would avoid them, but it takes time. It's not easy, right? I don't know, Baldeep, if you've tried the professional practices, but it takes a bit of time to get into those niches. It's not something that'll freaking happen overnight.
I have
Yeah,
a client. I have a client in one of those niches that it's tough to get into, and it's funny.
yeah,
I've never actually spoken to the doctor. I
yeah,
literally only speak to the office manager, and they
yeah,
get
yeah,
the building out. They take care of everything, and I
yeah,
never
yeah,
once spoke to the actual decision
yeah.
maker.
Yeah. However, traditionally, and I know people who do, I've worked with agents. I have an agency right now in the dental niche. They do 4 million a year in revenue. They generate an average of 5 to 8 clients a month in the dental area. So they're making it happen in that market, but they know that market really well. They are consistently talking to it. They are spending a ton of money on advertising promotion to that market to make that kind of money. It takes time. So lower barrier to entry businesses, service-based businesses, trade services, contractors, retail. Retail is fantastic. E-commerce businesses, amazing businesses to do business with. Professional services, lawyers, accounting firms, but within niches like accounting firms that specialize in auditing, accounting firms that do forensic accounting, because the value of a customer is much higher. They're not looking for compliance. If I was doing law firms, I have plenty of consultants who work in personal injury, mediation, family law, immigration. I got one consultant that's generating $1 million worth of revenue just out of immigration lawyers, selling Facebook ads to immigration lawyers, right? If I was looking at, I like businesses that have B2B, direct B2B connections. So things like office fit out companies, because the average sale is so high, office equipment companies, or office equipment products, like companies that own a product that market to the market, companies that have high value sales, auto dealerships, autos, cars, custom, anything custom, exclusive. There's this great magazine called the Rob Report in America. Anybody can get it. It's about $23 to get this magazine. It's very, very it's an expensive magazine, but it's a magazine that is only designed to sell stuff to rich people. So it's all these high expensive services, boats, cars, helicopters, planes. I actually got a client out of the Rob Report that sold speakers. They sold can you imagine this? A pair of speakers for $4 million, an amplifier for $400,000, and the cables for the speakers to the amplifier, $60,000 a pair. All right. But we helped them sell more than $100 million worth of speakers in the space of 2 years, right? So high-end products are definitely people who are spending money. Number one, who's spending money on advertising is the best niche. Google it. Google any service, anybody that's got AdWords, 7 ads in the AdWord area, that is the niche, because they're showing you that they're already spending cash. Here's another trick and a secret to niche markets. One of the reasons I started the agency in the robotics and the software market is I found an agency that specialized in setting up CRMs and doing above the line marketing for branded companies in the tech space. I saw them online, right? And when I saw them online, I went and looked at some of their case studies, but I went and looked at their client list. And then I actually approached the company to say, hey, roughly what would I spend in buying the same services that, say, ABC company invested in? And then they told me, well, our average client spends about $100,000 doing this, right? And that went pa-ching, there's a market. It validated. So I thought, where could I find them? So I went to the largest trade show on the planet called CES, which I'm going to at the beginning of the year in January. It's called the Consumer Electronics Show, and over 4,000 companies exhibit their services. Some of those companies spend $1 million to be there for 4 days. 300,000 decision makers descend upon Las Vegas for that event every year, and over 70,000 of the decision makers, the 70,000 attendees, are C-level executives, CEOs. And on average, I will pick up between 60 and 100 contacts every time I go to that show. And that's how I built a multi-million-dollar agency in the CRM space, by literally seeing that somebody else is already selling to these guys and they're spending that kind of money. So that if you're looking for niches, go to the players in the market. Who are they selling to? That gives you an idea of who's spending the money. That's the niche you want. So asking me which is the best niche, anybody that spends money on marketing is the best niche. Anybody that's wanted to grow, that needs customers online and needs to invest in doing that as a strategy, that is the best niche. There is no one singular niche that will outperform any niche in the market. That just is not a reality. Everybody's looking for the easy way in. If I want to work with dentists, I do it the same way as if I'm working with jewelry stores. It's the same way if I'm working with pharmaceutical companies. It's the same way working with robotics and software companies. It's the same approach. It's just who is spending the money is the number one criteria. So hopefully that answers the question.
I think one of the hang-ups that people, when they ask this question, just knowing from when I speak to people, and a lot of the people watching are probably more on the Facebook side versus AdWords side, right? And I think one of the biggest hang-ups is when they ask that question, they really want to know is which one can I actually get results for, right? Not necessarily which to target. And I think that's kind of like with this whole, people are inundated with getting courses that give them specific tactic for that one that'll work that one time. And that'll work. Keep going, and you'll figure stuff out. You'll learn stuff, but you have to quickly move out of that because you can't rely on that one funnel that worked a year ago. So I think it
doesn't work.
Yeah, that's really where people are coming from. Is which niche can I go into?
Okay, Facebook advertising niche. Anybody that's got a B2C target audience. Facebook works brilliantly for B2C because you have the perfect audience. You can actually do your retargeting very, very effectively for that audience. You can manage your campaigns. It's a lot cheaper than doing AdWords. But anybody that's B2C, and I don't know why Facebook agency guys, they don't target e-commerce. Like I know so many. Let me tell you, Baldy. I was recently at a conference in Southeast Asia. I spoke at a conference and I went to another trade show in Southeast Asia. And one of the things I'm asking questions for is who are you hiring? What area are you spending money in your business, and who are you hiring? Nearly every single person that said to me at that conference, we're looking for somebody who knows their shit around Facebook. We need somebody who can do Facebook advertising. I had 20 people, if I was in Facebook advertising in that market, in that niche, that I could have easily just gotten clients from just by rocking up and saying, hey, who are you hiring for? What do you need? We need social media. We need Facebook. We need to hire a Facebook team. Do you know anybody who has a Facebook team? Mate, I got 300 people I know who do Facebook advertising who need to speak to you, right? Or 1,000 people who need to speak to you, right? Every conference, it's really weird. For the last year, even if I went to a tech conference in San Francisco. Every person at that tech conference, I just said, so what are you looking for? Do you know anybody who can do freaking Facebook ads? We need somebody who knows what their shit about Facebook ads. It is the number one fastest growing agency opportunity because Facebook ads are not fucking easy. They're hard. Right, it means you have to work. You've got to massage the message. It's a process, and the beauty of Facebook advertising is you can charge a lot more for it if you put strategy behind it. Go to Jason Hornong. That dude does not get out of bed unless you've got a budget of 30 grand to spend with his agency. And he's not the one that's going to be doing the work. He's going to pay some underling in the Philippines who's had his training to do the work for you, right? But he charges the start. And the reason I know this is because that's what we pay Jason to do our advertising, right? So understand that guys like Keith Krantz who are in this market, let me tell you, if you're on Facebook, mate, I would crush it in Facebook because so many people are looking for you right now. They need help with getting direct access to the 2.5 billion people that are on Facebook.
Yeah, I was actually listening to Keith Krantz's podcast on my 2 hours drive to the city stuck in traffic. And somebody was in an interview that does Facebook's for e-commerce, and that's a huge space. I personally don't focus on e-commerce. But for those of you that are still looking for a niche, learn e-commerce. That's just a big scaling industry.
Oh man, some of my friends are spending $100,000 a week on Facebook ads in e-commerce, and they're hiring 10 to 15 people to manage their ads, to run their ads, and they're all freaking outsourced.
There's so much. I just don't like to do that much work, right? So there's so much. There's so much involved to setting up an e-commerce ad that it's just not what I want to focus on. But there's a huge opportunity if you want to build out that type of business. Another thing I'll tell you, going to those events and seeing all the booths that are there, and I've noticed this for every event that I've been to, and I've been to about 3 or 4 like expos or trade shows this year, and all of the booths that are there that are dedicated to some type of PPC or website or whatever, none of them are actually running Facebook ad campaigns. They're doing social media posts, which is getting hit right now with the Facebook Explore. It's gonna go away. Organic reach is going away. So they're focusing on that or AdWords. Nobody's doing actual Facebook ads, and the ones that say they do, it's really just hiding the content posts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's an opportunity there.
Man, there's massive. It's really weird because we're talking about Facebook. I can tell you right now, I'm sort of thinking, you know what? Maybe I should start a freaking Facebook agency. I already have one, but we specialize in a niche. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking, you know what? I could go broad because every place I go to, I should start just collecting cards and just handing them out to people. Say, do you do Facebook ads? Can you help? Because I can give you a shit ton of customers. All I
You should
do
do
is
that
just
for the
ask, what are you
champion.
hiring for?
Just
Yeah,
make a
yeah,
list.
I'll start. And
Like,
in actual fact, that there is a plan there that we are looking to generate leads for our champions.
Good to
But the
know.
thing, it's really weird. It's really weird where um, I often ask that question, and everybody's saying, and by the way, 30,000 positions right now for Facebook ad manager on Indeed in multiple markets. In California alone, the average salary between $50,000 and $180,000 per salary for a Facebook manager that they're hiring in. That's a budget. That's a management budget. They should be hiring your team. There's a list of people that are telling you. You want a list of people who want to hire Facebook ad people? Go to the job networks and the job markets online and only approach the companies, not the recruitment firms, but the actual companies that are looking for a Facebook manager. Those guys are going to spend $100,000 with somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, who has never run a Facebook campaign in most cases. They're your clients. They might as well spend $100,000 with you as opposed to somebody that they're going to pay and not get the result from. Yeah.
Just a reminder, quick, guys, I see people posting comment questions in the comments of the videos. Just so you guys know, this is going live to 10 groups, so I can't read them all. So there is a link on the comments of whichever video you're watching on any of the groups, either above the video or in the comments. There's a link to ask your questions, so please just go ahead and put your questions in that Google form, and we're going to answer them tonight or today in the next 20 or 30 minutes here. We got time. So yeah, there's a lot of questions coming in, and I'm just getting pinged, and I can't read them all. But
Yeah.
let's go to the next question. What tools do you use to research companies and how much they spend?
Oh, really easy. iSpionage, AdEspresso, SpyFu. I'm using other tools. There was a couple. I think a couple have been shut down, but my go-tos are iSpionage and SpyFu and AdEspresso. The other ones that I use, I actually go to using tools like Ahrefs and those sorts of things, which tend to be traditional SEO tools, but it shows you their Facebook advertising and AdWords advertising and stuff like that. Majestic SEO is another one that does that. So I tend to look at who's advertising, how much they're spending, what sort of ads that they're running. Follow.net is another one that shows you those sorts of things. But generally what I'll do is I'll go and, okay, so here's my sneaky way of doing this and my hack. I will go and find the number one AdWords agency in whatever city. So I'll go to the number, and I'm not going to name their name, but I know who the number one AdWords agency is in New York City, and I know who the number one AdWords agency in Chicago, in Los Angeles. I know who they are. I'll go to their sites and I'll go and check out who their customers are, and then what I'll do is I'll put the customer's website in the URL of iSpionage, and it'll show me all their ads. Or I'll put them in AdEspresso, and it'll show me all their ads. So that's how I get to see who's got the big budgets, what they're advertising, what the best landing pages are, what the best ad sets are. And by the way, don't copy people's ads because they generally don't work. Those ads have been tested in a lot of ways, so you need to make sure that you're making your own adjustments. If I'm looking at landing pages and ad campaigns and even copy for campaigns, what I want to do is make sure that my campaign is relevant as part of my strategy to get a better result. So if I want to know the best ads, there's this little website. Everybody tends to forget this website, Baldeep. It's called Google, right? It's a little bit difficult to spell, but if you go to google.com and you hook up images, so you click images, and then let's say, for example, you can go best Facebook ads for gyms or fitness companies, best Facebook ads for lawyers, best Facebook ads for accountants. Now, generally what you'll find, say, for example, in the fitness category, there are companies like LA Fitness, Anytime Fitness, all those sorts of people, which are large franchise fitness groups. They have already spent millions of dollars testing their best offers. They've already spent the money to test what works. All you've got to do is take their best offers, adapt it to your campaign, and run it and see. In most cases, we found that by adapting the best offers that have already been tested the shit out of, they tend to convert better for sales for other people as well. So that's an easy way to do it. Best campaign, best ad, best landing page. You can, like I recently was doing something with law firms where I typed in 2017 best landing pages for law firms. And some of the pages that came up were absolutely amazing. I understand why they're converting. And in fact, some of them were offering case studies of what the conversion rates were before they changed the landing page to the current landing page. So all the stuff is available online. It's free. Yeah. So it's very easy for me to find what's working, what's not working by using that hidden website that nobody seems to find, and that's Google.
I just did a Google search for best Facebook ads for gyms, and I went to images. Another quick tip too, if you want to kind of get more recent ones, if you go on Google when you have that search up and you go to I think it's settings or tools, one of those, you can filter it by length, past year, past few months, whatever, a custom range, so you don't look at stuff that's like 5 years old, because that's what happens a lot of times. A lot of the stuff that has more SEO will go up there. So kind of filter that out to the last 6 months or past year or whatever, and start getting better ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Easy way to go. Remember, I still have some tickets available. Thank you for those who are signing up at the moment. I really appreciate that. If you go to consultingunleashedlive.com, if you use biz, not BS, as the coupon code, you'll get to come to my live event for free. We only request $100. It's a refundable deposit when you come to the live event. We will get you your money back. I will feed you breakfast, lunch, morning and afternoon teas on both days. You're going to get live strategy tactics. This stuff that we're talking about here, we get to do that stuff live in the live event. We get to actually action this stuff for real. So if you want to come and see me in New York on the 30th of November and the 1st of December, I would highly encourage you to come along. It is in a great venue. You'll be hanging out with me personally. You'll get me to work on your campaigns live in the event. And you'll also get to hang out with Ball Deep and a whole bunch of other people who are doing really well in the consulting space. So if you want to leverage and grow, I would highly recommend if you come to consultingunleashedlive.com. As I said, you'll get a $100 refundable deposit. If you use the code BIZ, not BS, essentially you have a free ticket and you'll come on my dime. So back to you, Ball Deep, next question.
Yeah. Just to note, like most events, they don't pay for you to eat. John is always, there's plenty of food, drinks, everything you need. John's events always are fully catered, and you never have to figure out where you're going to get your meal. So it's definitely appreciated at those types of things where you don't want to run around and try and get that 1 hour break to get a quick bite. It's all there for you. So if you're in the New York area or can travel to New York and want to hang out with us and scale your agency, and I really recommend you go there. Check out the page. You can see in our past, in my Business Not Bullshit group, there's lives and testimonials from the last ones. So there's real results that come out of it. So I definitely recommend you attend.
United and Delta are doing tickets, return flights or round trip flights from West Coast for $140 to New York City to JFK. So round trip for $140, that's cheap. I've seen flights from Florida for under $100. I've seen flights from the Midwest, from Austin and Dallas, return flights for a couple $100. It's actually quite cheap to get to New York City. I'm surprised. There's lots of deals going on. It's a cheap flying time to get there, and there's plenty of accommodation where you're getting discounts on accommodation on the actual site as well. If you decide to book a ticket, there's plenty of places for you to stay inexpensively in and around the event venue. So.
Yeah, and then since I think Nick is coming to New York, so from the Business Not Bullshit group, we might actually do another hangout or meetup like we did in San Diego back in June. So we'll organize something. I'm gonna be there. I might actually stay in a hotel, but I'm thinking I might just take a train because then I can drink and have fun too at night.
I think you should stay in a hotel. I know Long Island's not very far away, but it's a bitch trying to get through traffic. It's a bitch. It's
like, 'cause I just went today to the city for that trade show, and it took me 2 hours to get into the city. It took me 2 hours to get back on a drive that should take me 45 minutes. But the train will actually will get me there in 45 minutes or less. So
okay. Yeah.
I mean, I could save the extra couple of $100 on the hotel at night, but it's not a big deal. I'll see. My wife will let me stay in New York City at a hotel. She doesn't mind when I'm traveling, but when I'm home, might be the problem. But yeah, let's get to
Let's
some
answer
more.
some more questions, Baldy.
Yeah. Okay. For e-commerce business, somebody's listening to the e-commerce and thinking that might be a great place to go, which it is a great place to go. For e-commerce businesses, would we be helping them sell individual products or advertise their website? So like they're looking
Both.
for guidance on what we should offer to them.
Both. I would be doing both because you want to get traffic to the site so that people can see all the offers. But I would pick out, high selling items. A friend of mine, Ezra Firestone, anybody who knows Ezra Firestone, he spends pretty much close to nearly $1 million a month on Facebook ads, and they do both. They do product ads and they do ads running to the traffic. But yeah, look, you want to be doing both because you want to be running tracking pixels off products, tracking pixels off pages. You want to be making sure that you're remarketing as much as possible, and you want to be mixing up the strategy because if it comes to the homepage and the homepage has a direct offer for people to take advantage of, especially if it's retail products, then I would be driving traffic to the offer and to the direct products as well. I'll be doing both. Huge opportunity, by the way.
So
Massive.
Like versus the local business or the national business lead generation side, the e-commerce side, it's really like from what I see, and I use Facebook to market for my clients, right? From what I see, the Facebook ads platform is really skewed more to helping e-commerce businesses versus lead gen.
Yep.
Absolutely. Just in the changes they made in September that was awesome for e-commerce people, but sucked for all the local lead gen guys. Right? So they're really geared towards that, and it shows because they have like the display, like you can do dynamic ads for products, retargeting dynamically from like you do some crazy shit.
Man,
Facebook with e-commerce that's so detailed, and that's one of the reasons why I don't do it. 'Cause it's so much extra work.
If you mix it up, if you mix even that up with Instagram ads, and if you mix it up with like Twitter ads and stuff like that, it literally with a Facebook advertising strategy for e-commerce, that's like steroids. Facebook's way better for e-commerce businesses, way better. Still work great for local businesses, for business B2C, but for e-coms, it's really powerful. Yeah, just the targeting alone and the perfect audience and stuff like that is just crazy stuff on Facebook. So yeah, absolutely. Big money.
Because when you're working with those national, and I run national campaigns for my lead gen side too, I get way better results on the national stuff than on the local stuff because the audience is so much bigger. Facebook's algorithm can actually work because they have huge audiences to find that data from instead of like a smaller local audience. So it's so much easier on that side, but it's more complex on the different ad sets you have to do for e-commerce. But anyway, let's get on to the next one. So somebody's asking, what time does the event end on the 1st? I guess they're looking to buy the ticket and show up.
It'll end between 4 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
4 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah.
So just so you know, if you're attending and typically like after the event, people still hang around. If you're looking to get a flight out of New York on a Friday, right? On a Friday at like 6 o'clock, you're going to have to leave the hotel at least by 2 o'clock just to get through traffic to get to the airports. The airports are not near the city, and you're just bumper to bumper the whole way. Unless you're
using the train.
Yeah,
train will get you there.
So
train will get you there in 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're doing Uber or taxi, have some time.
I'd be hanging out in New York. I don't know why you want to go home on Friday night. The reason I do it on Thursday and Friday is so people hang out in New York for the weekend.
Saturday, Sunday,
So take advantage of the Saturday and Sunday. But it's not difficult to get out of the city.
Cool stuff like to do if you're gonna spend extra time. Let me know. There's some like cool Christmas stuff going on at this time that you can check out on the weekend. So I'll help you out and let you know where to go. Okay. Any options to attend event remotely for those who can't attend live?
No. The actions follow the training that I've given you today. If you follow any of the stuff that I've shared today, if you apply that stuff, you're going to generate sales. If you follow through, I'll guarantee you're going to do well. I'm not doing any live streaming for this event because I am not charging you to be there. This is coming at my cost. I am videoing the event and putting that material together, but the only people who get access to that are those that actually attend. So if you attend the event, you'll have the opportunity to access all the recordings, the transcripts. I'm actually going to be doing sales scripting, all sorts of stuff in the live event. What I'm trying to do in that event is to give you every opportunity that you can generate a sale quickly for your agency and to be able to replicate that over and over and over again. So if you want to build, if you want to scale, and you want to grow, then I would highly encourage you, because the people that have been there, just go and watch a couple of the videos on the consultingunleashedlive.com website. Go and check out attendees from past events and listen to what they have to say about their experience of those 2 days, because that'll give you an idea of why you should be there. So as I said, use the code. It's a $100 refundable ticket. You get to go to for free. I will feed you, so you don't need to think about where you're going to go for lunch and all that sort of stuff. I'll take care of that for you. And we're going to have an awesome time. We've got some amazing people joining us. We've got amazing people that you can collaborate and share with. It's a great networking opportunity. But this event is about generating business. This is not about teaching you how to do Facebook better and teaching you how to do AdWords better. You should know all that already, or you can go and get courses up the wazoo on that. This is about getting clients. This is about growing, engaging, and making your business profitable so that you can have what you wanted to do when you wanted to build this thing in the first place. I want to help people grow and scale. That's the goal.
And I think that's one of the biggest things people always get hung up on is, how can I get a good result for my client, for these clients, because I'm afraid to sell if I don't know if I can produce. And one of the things I've done, and I've seen this question come up in the past few weeks too, in my group, and one of the things I've done is actually have picked up clients this way is by creating ads, running traffic to it, getting leads, figuring out, hey, I actually work. This process works. So then calling up those my target customer in that area where I already have leads for them and say, hey, this is what I have this problem. I have these people. Can you help them? Do you offer this? And then I tell them what happened, what I did, and then I talk to them about jumping on board and having me do it for them in that market. So
that's another way of doing it.
Yeah, if you're not sure, if you don't have like a team to do the to run your ads or AdWords Manage is easy. There's not too many good companies I've seen out there that do Facebook ads. So if you can't fulfill it yourself, find somebody that can. But yeah, just go out, spend a little money, test your own stuff, see if it works, and then if it works, then just get clients in that space.
Baldeep, how much money did you spend to do that strategy? What's the average spend that you spend to do that? Just a rough idea.
So you don't have to spend a lot, right? So I could have spent $400 or $500, but this is what I did. I did it in 5 markets. I didn't go small. I wanted to test it in multiple areas to see if there was a difference, because I didn't want to just give one small sample. So my goal was to spend $500, see if I can get some leads. I ended up forgetting to turn off the ads and spent a little bit more than $1,000. But the ROI on that fuck up has been okay.
So you just need one client to pay for it, yeah.
And they've been paying for it and then some. They're still a client now. I did that back in May. In May, and they've been paying me. I think I'm taking like a $1,500 or $2,000 profit on their fee since then, consistently.
I mean, I do. I mean, I've done exactly what you said, where I've just gone and tested ads in local markets for Facebook, and I've probably spent $50-$100 a couple. I think the most I've ever spent is about $250-$300. You get a result. Like there was one campaign that I ran, and I got like 40 leads for $300. So it's, roughly $3.50 a lead, which is crazy, right? But I think I've got 40 leads. I don't know what to do with them, right? I can't do anything. I've got to go to somebody really quick and say, dude, I've got 40 leads. Can you give these guys something or follow up these guys? And the guy went, 40 leads? That's crazy. And I said, well, I can do this all the time if you want. This is how I did it. It's already up and running, and away we go.
Yeah, it's I think like that strategy is once you have some money to put into it. A lot of people are like, hey, I don't have that strategy. Then do the direct outreach, do the cold emails, do that to get your business up. Then start spending money on ads, spend money on dumb shit like that. Leave it running forever and forget about it. But you'll still make money if you follow up. Like it took me 2 days to find a client to take the leads and actually hire me. I found people to take the leads, but I actually took 2 days to get someone to actually pay me for it, to keep doing it. Right? So
absolutely.
But
that's 2 days, man. Yeah.
Well, so
now you got a client. You got a client that's giving you $18,000 profit a year for 2 days' work. $18,000 profit. not cost, profit per year. String 5 of those together, you're making 100 grand profit. That's
Yep.
awesome. Yeah. So
Okay.
yes, happy to answer any questions.
All right. There is, I think, like one or two more questions. If you guys have questions, guys, we're gonna cut it off. We stop asking. So go ahead, businessnotbs.com/questions. Get them in here while we still have John on the line. Do you ever charge per lead instead of a monthly fee? What's your best way of charging, including how would you ask for ad spend?
Okay. I always suggest a budget for ad spend. I never let the client determine the budget for their ad spend. So that's just in my head. So if I say, look, for me, my management fees are always going to be high. I'm going to scare the shit out of you guys. Some of my management fees, 10, 20, 30 grand a month, right? And there's a reason for it, because we have multiple strategies we're working on. We run multiple campaigns. So that is our management fee, not the ad spend. The ad spend that comes with those fees are in the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes a month in ad spend. Right now, in one of our markets, we're spending $340,000 a month in ads. We generate 2.3 million in sales every month for that $340,000 in ad spend, and we get roughly about 8,000 leads and growing every single month, right? So in terms of how I determine, do I charge per lead? I've got consultants that do that. They spend $5 getting a lead and they charge $40 a lead. But the thing is, they look at the market and what the market will bear, and that's what they will charge. So a $5 spend to get $40 every time you do click over $5, that's awesome. Another way to do leads for performance is what you do is you charge the client up front, so they seed the money for the lead generation. So you charge them up front, say, look, $6,000 down, and it's 6 months' time. If you're not happy, you'll get your $6,000 back, right? But you use the $6,000 to seed the leads, and then they pay per lead. So you might say, you might, if you can get cost of acquisition per customer to, anywhere between $7 to $15 on average, then you can charge, $50, $60, $70 per lead. Well, give them 10 leads, you make $700. Give them 20 leads, you make $1,400. Give them 40 leads a month, you're making $3,000, $4,000 a month, right? But my thing is, why wouldn't you charge a management fee, have somebody manage effectively, and also take a profit share if you want to do that as well? That's another way to do it. So in terms of, with a per lead cost, in a lot of cases, that tends to be a strategy that is working with small businesses. And if you give them lots and lots of leads, what they do is they tend to cut them off and say, oh, I've got too many, or I don't want any more. So you're going to just stop, start, right? That's a thing that disincentivizes you to work with them, because they'll go, oh, they've spent like 2 or 3 grand this month. Next month they'll spend 1,000. The month after that they'll spend another 700. And you're doing this cost per lead, but you're working with pissant businesses that don't value the leads in the first place, so they don't stick around. So I like the model. I have a consultant that does really well. They're generating about 80 grand a month in just doing cost per lead with a client, with their niche market. But Jesus, they work hard for their money, and they're constantly generating, they're constantly going out to the market to sell their leads. They're doing okay. They're not complaining, but they're working pretty hard for their money. For me, management fee. And if I'm really wanting to build a partnership with a client, I'm looking to take a percentage of sales made from my campaign as well. So that's another way of doing it. But for growth and sustainability and consistency, have a management fee for your client. You can get percentage of ad spend, or you can have a flat fee based on milestones of their spend. That way, you increase your clients. If I look at the best companies in the world that do online advertising, they have multiple packages for flat fees on their management fees, and then they recommend the budget. And this is the thing: most people are recommending low budgets. Remember what I said before: if you resource me correctly, I'll give you a great result. If you under-resource me, I'll give you a mediocre result. Most ad budgets are not big enough, and the reason not big enough is you're letting the client determine the ad budget. What I do is say, hey, if you want to do this, you need to be investing X amount of dollars. If you're doing solar leads, if you're spending anything less than $5,000, it's bullshit. It's not going to work. You're going to get some sales, but it's not going to work. You've got to be spending at least, in the solar market, to do really well, you've got to be doing 10 grand a month, especially in competitive markets. That would be the minimum spend in ad spend. And to manage that campaign, I would be charging $3 to $5 grand every month, every day of the week. So that gives you some ideas. Most people don't ask enough because they're scared. Most people are scared to ask people for a budget. So here's how you establish a budget for a client. So can I share that, Baldeep? How you can get shit, I'm going to show you how you can get a huge budget from a client based on the client saying what they would spend to buy a customer. So here's how you do it. I would sit there and say, let's say we're targeting, if we're doing, let's say solar hot water systems for homes, heating and cooling for homes, with hot water. So those systems are anywhere between $5,000 and $12,000 a sale. So I would ask the business owner, how much would you pay out of the $5,000 to acquire a customer? Right? I'd say, what would you give out of let's say out of $12,000, how much would you spend to get a $12,000 customer? They'll turn around and say, look, I'd be willing to spend anywhere between $500 to $1,000. So you're telling me that if we brought you 10 customers, you would be willing to spend $10,000 to buy those customers, or $5,000 to buy those customers, right? Great. Now, if you've got a $10,000 budget, do you think you're going to get them 10 customers? Easy, because now you've got a budget. Because he just told you, I'm willing to spend $1,000 to buy a customer. That means that your cost of acquisition has to be $1,000. Well, if your cost of acquisition is $1,000 for a customer, how many leads can you get for $1,000? You could get 10, 15 leads just for $1,000. If they close, next question I ask them is, I'll ask them, if I set you 10 customers, how many of those customers would you close? And on average, they'll say, I'll probably 2 in 10, right? So 20%. So they're saying that every time I send them 10 customers, they will close 2 deals. Now, in my head, can I get a customer for $100 a lead? That's what I'm doing in my head. Can I get 2 customers, right? Can I spend $100 on Facebook to just get 1 qualified lead? Because I can spend $1,000 and get 10, and they're going to make, if they get 10, they're going to make $20,000, right? $1,000 to make 20 grand, right? $10,000 to make $200,000. Yeah. So that's how I establish budgets with clients. I'll sit and say, listen, how much are you willing to spend on buying a customer based on your cost of acquisition? They go, we're willing to spend X amount of dollars. Great. You've just set the budget. That's what you need to be doing, right? So you're not giving them the budget. They're telling you how much they're willing to spend to buy a customer. So I say, if you want 10 customers, that's 10 grand. You want 20 customers, that's 20 grand a month you got to give me. I'll give you 20 customers. Now you've got real budgets to promote and get real great results. Because if you've got a $20,000 budget, I'll guarantee you'll make them tons of money, tons of cash. Yeah? Does that make sense, Baldy?
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Like, even to give you an idea, like, I have a client who has a $5 grand a month ad budget, which is not a lot, but they're selling a very high ticket item. And in 6 months, we did 10 million in sales. So, and that was just off that small of a budget, right? And that's like, hey, like it wasn't a lot.
The management fee needs to be higher, Baldeep, on that deal.
Well, that was just the ad budget, but yeah. So yeah. I worked out a deal with them because they gave me more than one account. So
yeah,
I got a nice,
absolutely. Yeah. So you want a budget? Ask them how much they will spend to buy a customer, and then say, right, if you want 10 customers, you need to give me a budget of this. That's how you get big budgets from people.
Okay, we got another question here that I like when they ask you this, because I already know what's going to happen. And it's a question that everybody gives their own, like every coach or anybody in this space has their own take on it, and most of them have the opposite take on it than you do. And I'll just let you get to it. So, do you send proposals? If so, what sections do you cover in your proposals?
Okay. No, I don't send proposals, because if somebody asks me for a proposal, my response is, I'm happy to send you an invoice with a list of inclusions. Just pay here, right? Because a proposal is about the price. It's not about the value or the service you're offering to get a result for the client. What I teach, and Baldeep knows this, is we teach to pitch. You want to, like Shark Tank, like when you go to Shark Tank, you've got the shark sitting in front of you, the company's got an idea, and they want to raise money from the sharks. So they pitch their idea with the sharks. And at the end of that pitch, the sharks ask some questions, they get clarification on the spot in the moment, and then they make a decision on whether or not they're going to make an offer and buy or invest in their product or service. It's the same thing that I teach the people I work with. If you pitch a deal, then you get to answer all the questions on the spot. You want to say pitch, you don't need to be face to face. You can just do this on the telephone. You don't need to be on Skype. You can just even be on a phone. But you present, that means that person can answer all the questions that they have right up front, right? And you can say, right, so based on everything being all said and done, this is your objective. You know how we can get there. I guess the only thing we've got to do is to get started, yes? And then they go, well, yeah, I guess so. Great, you've got a client. You can't do that on a proposal, because this is what happens with a proposal. You're going to sit there and you've asked a couple of questions. Sometimes, in most cases, you don't ask enough questions, but you're going to put a proposal together about what you do, how great you are, how you can help them, how many leads there are out there for them. Then you're going to go and say, you know, there's a management fee and there's a setup fee, and the price is going to be on the last page. Generally, your proposal is going to be anywhere between 2 and 3 or 4 pages. The first page they flip to is they go past, you know, the 2 hours or 3 hours worth of work that you spent putting that shit together. They literally go straight to the last page and go, how much is it going to cost me? So now it's about how much it costs, not about what the result is that you're going to get from the investment that they make in utilizing your services. Now they get a whole bunch of other proposals and they compare you, apples and apples, with other apples and go, okay, who am I going to get the best deal with? Right? So if you are going to persist with the idea of proposals, this is what I recommend that you do. First of all, instead of putting the price on the last page, put the price right at the top in the first paragraph of the first page. Because what will happen is they'll go and, instead of reading your proposal, they'll just go straight to the last page and they go, holy shit, there's no price here. So now what are they going to do? They've got to read your proposal. So you can sit there right up front and say, hey, thank you for allowing us. Here's your objective. By the way, your investment in this program, in this solution, to help you get the results you're looking for is X. Now, let me explain how we're going to help you do that. So now they've got to read your proposal and go, okay, because it's not on the last page, right? Second thing is, if you are going to propose and you're not pitching, that means you have to follow up. You cannot follow up later than 48 hours. You must follow up within 24 hours if you're delivering a proposal. You must not leave it longer than 48 hours, because anything you've told them, any conversation you had, goes out the window and life takes over. So you've got to sit there and say, hey, I'm going to give you a call tomorrow morning just to answer any questions you have with this proposal I sent you. And then if you're interested, I can show you how we can help get you started, right? So I'm going to give you a call at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And the person might say, oh, I'm not ready at 9 o'clock. Can you call me another time? Or you might say, I'll either call you at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning or 11 o'clock the next day. Which would you prefer? Great. So at 11 o'clock, I'm going to call you. You're going to follow up your proposal. So if you're going to do proposals, right, which I highly recommend you don't do, total waste of fucking time, right? What you want to do is put the price on the first page in the first paragraph after what you said that you're going to do for them as their objective, and say, right, your investment to do this is this. Then what they're going to do is they're going to go to the last page and go, hey, where's the price? So that means now they've got to read your proposal as to why they should be working with you. And the second thing is, make sure you follow up your proposals within 24 to 48 hours. But I don't recommend it. If somebody asks me, it's about the price. Somebody says, give me a proposal, that's about the price. It's not about what I do. If somebody asks me, give me a proposal, say, great. Before I am more than happy to put that down for you, I want to understand exactly what your objective is so that we know that we're proposing for the right thing, if we are. And more importantly, how committed are you? 10 out of 10, you need this shit done, you're focusing on it right now, you've got the budget, you're going to move forward. 8 out of 10, you're not sure, but you want to do something. 5 out of 10, I'm just exploring. If the person says, I'm just exploring, let me know when you're ready. No point in wasting time to give you a price, because the price will change in a month's time, 2 months' time, 6 months' time, and it's going to be dedicated towards whatever strategy you need. So the idea is, how long is a piece of string? Yeah? Don't do proposals. Don't send proposals. Don't waste your time. Do a pitch. Say, hey, if you're serious, let's show you how we can help you. Here's what your investment is. Here's how we get started. This is the first step. Let's work together and partner together to help you grow your business. So hopefully that answers your question, Baldy.
I had somebody ask me after. A lot of times people ask you for a proposal after you've already told them everything. Like, they already know everything, right? So I had a client ask me that before we started working together, but I already told them my management fee. I told them what I recommended for ad budget. They already knew everything. They wanted the proposal for their CEO because I don't deal with.
I would have, yeah. So I would have had the CEO.
Yeah. I didn't need the CEO on the phone because he wasn't it's not his department, so he was like, I have full authority to allocate budget in this. I have full authority to do this. I'm like, okay. So I said, hey, I'm not going to send you a proposal, but I'll send you an invoice with a list of inclusions. So all I did was put on the footer of the invoice all this extra stuff what we're going to do for them, and sent it out.
Yeah.
And they didn't even read all that stuff. They asked me about later on. They just ended up paying the invoice. So
yeah,
I just saved myself. Like,
let me send you an invoice. Let me send you an invoice with a list of inclusions. That's the best proposal you can send. That's my response to everybody. Happy to send you an invoice with a list of my inclusions. Just make sure you pay that button.
Yep.
Oh no, I don't want an invoice. I want a proposal. Well, that's my proposal, my invoice. You know. So yeah. So hopefully that answer
any questions, and I usually send them out to them if they want it. Usually, recently I don't send them anything. I just send them the invoice.
Bullet point, 2-pager, but usually I send invoice. I like to pitch for a deal because I want to know the answer. If somebody's going to spend, if I want somebody to spend $30,000-$40,000 with me, and I know that I can do that by having a conversation and answering all their questions, because it's essentially on a proposal they can't do that. But if you've got them face to face or you've got them on the phone, they can ask you all the questions and then you can answer them. And the only thing you want to do then is it okay if I show you how we get started? Is it okay if we partner together to work on getting those results that you said that you wanted in the first place? Can we get this thing going? Really easy, really soft, no hard sell, no pushy, right? Just ask for the business. Pitch it. Be a shark. Yeah?
Yep. Okay. I think we have one last question. If you guys have questions, go ahead and put them into the link that's in the comments or above the video. So somebody said, I've been marketing for 15 years, new to digital agency. How do we handle someone asking us for our past performances if we are new?
Okay, so one client makes you an expert in an industry. If you deliver a service, one client. But here's a funny thing. Ball Deep, how often does it come up with people asking, who do you work for? Does it come up often? No. Very rarely does that question ever come up. And here's the thing. I'll give you an example because I built a web design and web dev agency to $800,000 in 10 months without a business card, with a Gmail email, and just a cell phone, no website. How did we do it? We have a team of 39 designers with our team over here. They specialize in conversion-based element design. They've worked on some of the biggest websites on the planet, and that's who our team is. Let me give you a few examples of the work that they do that will help you understand how relevant they are to your particular project. I don't need a case study. I can use somebody else's case study who I'm working with. That's my black box, is I outsource it to another team. And that's how I built a $800,000 web development agency without even being a freaking web developer. I've never done a graphic design thing in my life. So that's one way of doing it. Sometimes, and if they're the first client, I say, hey, you're the first person on this project in this area, but I know that this is the strategy and system works. I can show you examples or demonstrations of how that's working in the market. This is what we specialize in. Away we go. If I'm working, like we work great in one particular niche, and this is in the health niche, I can take the same strategies to any other health niche and say, hey, this is what we do. This is how we know it works. This is why it works, right? Most people are not going to ask you, who have you done this with before? And if they do, you've opened the door to that happening. There's a level of doubt that you're raising in the client in the way that you're presenting to the client. Right. In most cases, it's really weird. A lot of consultants, a lot of people starting out ask me that question. What if they say, have you done this before? In most cases, after about a month or two working with me, I ask them, hey, does that question ever come up? And they go, no, rarely, if ever. So that's more about you having doubt on what you deliver and putting that doubt in the mind of the customer. You don't need to do that. Just know that you can do the job. Know that you're turning up. Know that you're here, and know that you can deliver for the client. And if you can't, hire a team that can. For me, I'm always hiring out a resource partner, agency level. That's the way I scale and grow. If I look at guys like Invisible PPC, Studio One Design, Legendary Lead Gen, all those companies that provide that, they've got teams. They're not independent contractors, but they've got teams of white label providers, and they've got lots of funds under management in advertising or promotion or marketing. They're the people that would be my team. So if you want to look at my team, look at the stuff that they do. So that hopefully that answers your question. But I wouldn't really worry about it, and it rarely comes up. And if it does come up, you've actually brought that into the conversation. You've intimated that somehow that they should be asking that question. In most cases, it doesn't matter. In fact, I I've been doing this for 27 years, and I can count on my hand the number of times that question's ever been asked to me. And a lot of consultants I work with it hardly ever comes up. Who have you done this before? So hopefully that answers your question to the person who's answered that question.
Okay. Got one more in. So if we come to the event, what prep work should we have with us if you're going to help us with our marketing funnels?
Yes, so you're going to have an email, or there'll be only a little bit of homework to do before you come to the event. So that prep work is going to be emailed to you once you buy a ticket. You will get an email to confirm you're coming to the event, and then there'll be other emails that'll prep you for that event. The prep work is not a lot. But there are some things that will help you expedite at the actual event. We've had people who did no prep work and did the strategy live at the event and still made sales. So, however, we do prepare you for the live event, because I will be working live in the room with you, creating your campaign on the spot and doing the copywriting for you. So, if you want to do that, that'll be awesome. But yes, there is some prep work. It is on an email. It's not very difficult. But it will help you get a better result when you show up to the live event. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question.
Got it. Okay. That's it. Nobody else submitted any more questions. So
awesome, man.
Guys, New York City, November 30th and December 1st, consultingunleashedlive.com. Use coupon code BIZNOTBS, BIZNOTBS. You're gonna get entry for free. Just put down $100 to make sure to reserve your seat. And when you show up, that'll be refunded to you. So it's definitely if you can't miss this event. If you can make it to New York, you got to be there. Especially if you're serious about scaling or building your agency.
Yeah.
There's nothing but.
I couldn't make it more no-brainer. Yeah, I couldn't make it more no-brainer than this. This event is up there with what Ryan Levesque, all my friends in this market, Ryan, Keith, Todd Brown, Shramko, all these guys that charge $2,000, $3,000, $1,000 for events. If you know that you get value out of those style events, in this event we do live stuff on your business. This event is incredibly valuable to you if you turn up, because you're going to learn and see and do and apply what many around you are going to be doing in the same time, in real time. There's very few events that I know of that do real-time strategy. Baldeep, have you ever been to an event that do what we do live? Have you been to anything like that?
Some of them is just sitting there listening and absorbing versus actually doing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you listen and absorb. This is not about giving you a whole bunch of fluff. This is about giving you some stuff, giving you the real action stuff that actually works. And I know that every event that we've ran this year, people have gotten results from the event. They've picked up tens of thousands. Last time, the best result we had was $40,000. I just did a Bangkok event. Somebody picked up 40 grand within 24 hours, applying what I taught at the live event and some of the stuff I've been sharing with you today. So if you're serious about growing and scaling your business, this is a pretty small investment of time and energy to go and learn what's actually working and getting great results in marketing right now. So if you go to consultingunleashedlive.com, use the coupon code BIZNOTBS, BIZNOTBS. You'll put down a $100 deposit, and I will see you in New York, and you'll get to hang out with me, and I'll be working live with you in the room on your campaign.
Yeah, and for those of you still watching, I may toss in an extra bonus for the ones that do show up from this code. That bonus will be named later, so it may be a little bit extra worth it for you to show up. Anyway, yeah, guys, I want to thank all the groups that let me share this live. It's too many to name, so I don't want to forget anybody. But you guys know who you are. All your groups, you have great communities. You've been building up your audience, and I appreciate you letting us share this content with your groups. That code is good for anybody that is seeing this live from any one of those groups. Feel free to come and attend the event. It's definitely something you don't want to miss. And if you have any questions or follow-up questions or want to know how to get in touch with John, anything specifically, just shoot me a message personally, directly on Facebook or in the group or wherever this video is being shared at, and I'll get you in touch. But thanks again to all the group owners. Thanks again to everybody that watched. Take advantage of the incredible incentive, and we'll see you in New York.
Thanks, Baldeep, and thanks everybody for your questions as well. I really appreciate that.